quickly.
No, they don't. It's more fun just to be able to sit and relax and say.
Really?
Yes.
And these are just, these are just leader questions. Where like, Daddy, remember
When
the
you're having a
4-inch?
migraine, it makes it a little bit worse.
Well, are you having a migraine?
No, you said you were.
Well, that's all right. So did you guys figure up any fads? What was going on like when you were in high school? What did the kids
I don't
wear?
remember anything.
No fashions?
Or with hair or anything else.
We were kind of poor out in this area. I think
Yes,
that we didn't have
we were
the
just
city.
lucky to get out of school, I think.
we didn't know what they did in
We
Salt
went,
Lake.
Yeah.
For the school lunch, Mama used to can tomatoes in a 10-gallon honey can, and I'd take those over for our lunch, so I'd get free lunch.
Oh, I see. So I
Yes.
see.
Contribution to the soup
Yes.
kitchen.
Great. Wonderful.
Yeah. how
she
did
used
they
to do
can?
that. That
Wow.
was really something.
In a 10-gallon honey can
5-gallon.
or 5-gallon honey
they're
can?
big
Yeah.
ones.
The
5-gallon. Yeah, I guess 5-gallon.
Oh, I was going to say I thought you had to take those and eat them at school every day. Oh my God.
No, they used it at school to make up the lunches. That was really good.
What other things did they have at school lunch?
Well, I
Potato
never had
soup.
school lunch.
Potato soup?
Did you take your lunch?
I
I
guess
think we did sometime, but then later on we could go to school lunches.
I never remember any school lunches when I went. They hadn't discovered that yet.
No, I don't think in your time they probably wasn't having school
No,
lunches.
they
She was-
didn't. I never heard of
Pack
it.
it
I
up.
think they were.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it.
You didn't eat at school? They would have had them eat at school.
We brought a little sandwich from home
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and
pack
an
your
apple.
lunch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then, we're going to skip military service, Daddy, because you got that taken care of on your last oral history. So we're going to talk about, as a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I think as a child, I never thought about it. Never
I'd
entered
be
my
a
head.
rancher like his dad.
What about you? What do you want to be?
Well, let's see.
I think I always
Get
wanted
married
to fly
and raise
a
a
plane.
family. That's what I did.
My dream was to fly.
Yeah, you liked that, didn't you?
And yours was what?
Get married and have a family. That's what I did anyway. Whether I liked it or not.
You didn't dream it up.
No, I
And
didn't.
you?
didn't do
About the
that.
same thing?
Well, I think as a child, I didn't dream anything.
Well, but as a teenager, what do you want to be?
Well, I wanted to be a nurse like my grandmother and my aunt.
Okay. Okay, so, and your first job was a nurse?
Yes.
Okay. And your last job was a nurse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what was your first job, Aunt Jeannie? Cab driver, yeah.
Up at Hill Field. I've got a picture of Tony Galindo and I and all the big staff guys together.
Really?
Yeah. That drove him down to Provo. He was putting on an exhibition down there.
Now, for the sake of
Even-
the camera, tell me who that is. Toby.
Tony Galindo, he was the world champion boxer.
He tried to be.
Oh, he
He
was.
never quite made
Yeah.
it.
But he was famous.
He was. He was a famous good fighter too.
Good. And so you got to give him a ride?
Yeah, I got to give him a ride down to Provo. He was putting on an exhibition.
How many years
Boxing.
did you do that?
Oh, about 2 years I think I was up at Hill Field. And
Wow.
then later, before Debbie was born, I drove cab for 2 years in Salt Lake.
Oh, my goodness. That was, you know what? I'll bet there weren't that many women cabin drivers, were there?
Well, there were quite a few at that time.
What year was that?
Well, when was Debbie born? She's 55, tell me.
So, 50, so that would have been 51 or she'd been born in 54.
So it was there before that, so like
Right after the war?
52 and 53.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that maybe during wartime you had to drive cabs because there were no men, or how did you get a traditionally men's job?
I don't know, they needed drivers and...
Oh, okay.
The men were in the war.
Well, after the war was over
in
then.
54, yeah, that war
Yeah.
was over then. But Ed was driving truck, so, you know.
It's just what you wanted to do.
Yeah. So I just drove cab and then went to Moon Lake for a vacation and ha,
What?
along came Debbie.
Oh. You found her at Moon Lake, did you? And ruined all your plans to own the cat company. No, Debbie, not Debbie. It would be. Oh, okay. I guess then, yes. So you already had children, though. You had.
Oh yeah.
You had Rudy and
4.
4 of them, and then you was a cat. So that was you were driving cab and stuff to help your family, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Your dad was on the road. Who babysat the kids?
Probably each other.
Oh no,
If you had
I had
one
a
big enough.
babysitter.
You didn't have one big enough, huh?
I think there on Crandall Avenue, I had the girl across the street. Not a little girl, but she took care of him when I was at home. Of course, I had to pay her. You know
Yeah.
how that worked.
Yeah.
That was okay.
What other kind of jobs have you
But
had?
you know, I mean, there were 7 years between Debbie and Jimmy, and 7 years between Jimmy and Bobby. So I mean, those kids were pretty good size.
Yes, yes. You didn't have a passel of youngins at home.
No, they weren't all together.
Yeah.
I strung them out.
Now, was Aunt Banksy living out in Salt Lake at that time too, with her boys?
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys kind of all lived out there, and Daddy was out there for a brief period of time at Hillfield in that area.
Yeah,
I was
he
there
was
quite a
up
bit
at
later
Hillfield.
than that.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay, so what other jobs have you had, Aunt Jeannie? You
Can't remember.
owned the suntan. Didn't
Yeah.
you sell Avon for years?
No, I didn't.
I thought you did.
Uh-uh.
I bought Avon from you.
Did you? I may have done it for a little while. I can't remember
Because
that.
didn't Debbie start selling it too? Yes, you did.
Yeah,
I
I had the
remember that's the only
suntan
reason
for
I
quite
knew
a
it.
while.
Yeah, that's the only reason I knew about Avon was because of you. Okay, let's see. What about you? You've always had nursing jobs. Okay, and
No
Dad?
other. No
All the
other.
time, whatever time she worked, she was a nurse.
Okay, and then Daddy, for you? You had a job at a creamery early on as a child.
Well, no, that
Young
was after I
man?
come out of the service. I drove a milk truck, gathered milk, brought it down to the cheese plant.
And that's where you lost that's where you hurt your back
That's
first
when I
time.
hurt my back, yeah. And then, let's see, from there I went to probably, I had the service station with Dad first. After that, went in the service station business for 3 or 4 years. Then I went out to Hillfield for 1 year. Then I come back and went in the service station business and stayed there till I retired.
Okay.
Ed was in an accident, you know, up in Rawlings, Wyoming.
Good. Do you
And
want
he
to talk
never
about
drove
that?
the truck after that.
Now, let's talk about Uncle Ed for a minute here. We're talking about, at this point, we're talking about Jean Ruth Ponton's husband, Ed Ponton. And why don't you just maybe tell a little bit about him?
Well, when I brought the kids out here in 1944, he was overseas in the war. And then he came back and went to truck driving. And then he had that accident up in Wyoming, and then we came
What was
out here.
that trucking firm he drove for?
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead, yeah. Arrowhead Trucking out of Salt Lake.
Oh, there was
And
another
then
company
he went
you
to
worked
that
for,
to
too.
another,
To another one, Consolidated. wasn't it?
Consolidated, yes.
Yeah. So he drove for quite a while
That was Consolidated who was driving for him when he
when he had the
had that,
accident, I
had
think.
the
Yeah.
wreck. Huh.
I remember hearing about that jackknifed up on going over the slick
Did a
ice.
slick
Can't
stretch of
remember,
ice.
but they didn't think he was going to survive.
No.
Oh my God.
Broken back and a whole schmear.
But he did survive, and you had
Yeah,
many,
they
many
flew him
more
from
years.
there into Salt Lake at the LDS hospital, and they straightened him right out.
Hmm.
So
Made him join the church, but he got straightened up.
Daddy,
he
we're
was a
talking about.
Catholic, and nobody made him join nothing.
Okay, let's see. If I can get to another
You
question.
guys,
You guys are just ruining Dad's
I'm
day.
surprised they didn't take him to the Holy Cross Hospital, but they took him to the LDS, so that's the way that works.
Well, they usually take them to the hospitals that can
course.
best treat whatever trauma it is.
Well,
So that's probably what it was. Let's see. Marriage and children. How did you meet the person that you would later marry, Belle?
Well, that's a
he was a
strange.
sailor.
No, he was
oh,
not.
God.
If you said that word in
He
front
was
of
a
him,
Marine.
he
Oh,
would
I'm
go
sorry,
to the
he was a
moon.
Marine. Okay.
I met him in Santee, California, and I was visiting my grandmother and my aunt who were nurses working there. He had an uncle working there in the dairy, and he had been there visiting his uncle. I was there, and I had washed my tresses,
Red
hanging,
dresses.
and I was sitting out there on a little bench under a palm tree. And I'm just sitting there and getting my hair dry, and somebody walked by. Well, pretty soon they walked that way. Pretty soon they came around that way. Well, his uncle took me back to the hospital that night. And him, well, they let me out at the hospital, and he told his uncle, he rode about a mile, and he said, well, let me out here, I'll just walk home. Why did he walked back to the hospital. And house mother comes up and she said, Miss Calvert, you have a gentleman caller. I said, well, I can't have. I don't know anybody here. Well, he insists he knows you. So I got myself down there, and it was Frank. We walked a block up to the corner. They had a big malt shop. We sat up there and drank malts and visited, and that got us on the way.
That was
it, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
And Jeannie, how did you meet and marry Ed?
Well, let me think. I was going to Excelsis, and he was taking care of the little hotel and the Miles Hotel. And I'd walk by
Yeah,
every
like
day,
they do.
ho. And then I met him at the little shop right there, the Miles Hotel. They had a cute little restaurant on the corner, so that's where I met him. And he worked for the hotel for quite a while. Can't remember.
But what were you doing at the hotel?
He
Close to
was
the
at the
school.
restaurant, and he came in the restaurant.
Oh, I
So that's
see.
how we met.
Oh, you worked at the restaurant.
No, I didn't work. I just went in there to eat, and he came in.
So why were you
It was
close
close
to
to the school.
Oh, to the school.
The restaurant was.
Well, right next to the Miles Hotel. It was right on the corner.
Okay,
next to
but
the-
what were you doing there?
What was he doing there?
You.
Well, I just gone in to have lunch or something.
But didn't you,
Every day?
wasn't the school
I
right
think-
close there?
No, well, they all Excelsis,
Yeah.
there was a couple of blocks.
So that's how you got there, is that you happened to be going into that cafe often?
Mhm. Just
Okay.
went in for lunch, and he came in. And
Have you seen him before? Noticed him or
I don't
anything?
think so.
Was he stalking you?
Probably. I don't know. Anyway, he worked for those hotels for quite a while.
What did he do for them?
He was a clerk,
Oh.
took care of everything.
Oh, a
Busboy,
valet?
clerk and stuff like that?
Oh wow, a valet.
And then there was a whorehouse across the street. So he used to remember all the men that came from Myton or out in the Uinta Basin that used the whorehouse.
What was the name of it?
I'm telling you. Now that he remembered that, he would get women for him when they'd come into town. So I think they call that a pimp.
Yeah. Or maybe just, he was accommodating. He was a very accommodating person.
Yeah, very.
What was the name of that hotel? The Miles Hotel?
The Miles Hotel. Well, it was the Perry later. And then the Little Hotel. That was just a little cute one up on Main Street.
Oh. Okay, so then that's how you guys met.
That's how we met.
And Dad, how did you meet your wife?
At the Heidi Ho Dance Hall. in
Where's
Myton.
that? Oh. The Heidi Ho?
That's what it was called for a while there.
Wasn't it
The Oasis then, Heidi Ho. then-
Legion Hall.
It was the Oasis. Well, I guess when I met her, she'd come out to visit her sister, and her
Went
sister
to the
brought her
dance.
over, and they tricked me, and that's the end of that story.
Uh-huh. Oh boy, I hear that a lot. Okay, so when do you remember your first date?
First date? Oh, I don't know.
guess that was your first date when you went
Well-
to the malt shop.
Well, that was the first time I went ever anywhere with him. Yeah.
What about you, Dad? You remember your first date?
Yeah, it was next Saturday night at the dance hall down there.
He was a fast worker.
Yeah. And 4 days later you were married.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was married a month later after I met Ed.
Wow. So where did you go on your first date?
I never remember. He didn't dance, so it wasn't the dance hall.
Probably a movie or a
Yeah.
cafe.
How long did you know your husband before you married him, Bill?
2 years.
2 years. Daddy was
Oh, probably a month,
1 month.
something
A
like
month
that.
And yours
for
was
Ed
a
and I,
month.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, we couldn't get married because I was in nurse's training. He couldn't marry because he was in the Marine Corps. And he couldn't get married without permission from
The command.
yes, which would not be allowed. So we eloped to Yuma, Arizona, hoping we hadn't been spotted by anybody.
So that it wouldn't come out in the newspapers there.
Yes, that's why it was there.
So then you were secretly married for how long?
Oh, let me think.
70
We-
years.
We were married December 7th. Married December 7th. But that's all I remember now.
Okay.
Because that's when we sneaked off to Yuma. Oh, and I have the cutest little wedding card that the judge gave us there. Had cowboys all on the front of it. Open it up. It says, "You've just been roped." And it was signed by 2 judges. I still have that cute little card.
Oh, I should scan that, and then we can give copies to all of your kids of that.
Yeah, it's a cute little thing.
So how did he propose to you?
Oh, I can't remember.
You can't remember?
Maybe it was just a gradual thing, and well, he assumed he was going to marry me one way or another, follow me to the edge of hell. It would let me out of his sight.
Well, actually, it was 5 weeks after we met, because the first week her blood spoiled sending it into Salt Lake, and I had to have another batch of blood taken and sent out, and then we could get married.
So you were 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
And
See, that's why you have these headaches and everything.
Yes.
Her blood spoiled.
that's right. I knew that one of them was spoiled.
And you should see our marriage. Have you ever looked at my marriage license on the wall over there? It's Edward Earl Evans and Ruth Jean Cooper.
Because he used his. Go ahead and finish the
His
story. Andrew.
stepfather's name.
He took.
But it wasn't Earl. He was Edward R. Ponton. So when he went in the service, his mother and I had to go down to the courthouse and get all of it changed. Oh God! But our marriage license is that Edward Earl Evans and Ruth.
How
Jean.
interesting. How did he propose to you? You remember?
No, I probably proposed to him.
How do you say we get married, huh?
Yeah, we went out to Justice of the Peace.
Where at?
I think out towards Bountiful someplace.
You didn't go to Wendover out of state?
No, no, we just went to a Justice of the Peace and he did the job.
And it wasn't the and then you moved in together right after that. Where was your first house?
Down to his grandmother's on 30,
Third South.
just below
State.
33rd South and State Street. She had a home down there, so we moved in there. She was all alone.
Did Debbie tell you I have pictures of Grandpa or Uncle Ed's grandparents? I got them off the internet.
Oh, the Priadis?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to show you
But
pictures.
she was all, you know, they had a boarding house, first in Provo, Provo. A boarding house, and he had a bar, the grandfather. Then they moved up to Bingham, and she had a boarding house up there, and he had a bar there.
I'm talking about the great-greats. The ones that fell off the turnip truck.
Oh.
They look like immigrants. They
Well,
were immigrants.
They were from, where?
Live Ireland.
Romania,
No,
Hungary. It's
Someplace over there.
something, yeah. Anyway, I'll have to show them to you. I showed them to Debbie and gave her the
okay.
pages. She asked me if I could find anything, and I found that. She was very thrilled.
Oh, okay. But then did it go on to the grandparents then?
I'll have to look it all up and I'll
Okay,
I'll show it to you sometime. Okay, now let's see. I think that you all had happy marriages, so we won't go there, right?
Yes, we did.
Did
We
you have
stayed
a-
together.
Did you have a honeymoon?
Very, very happy marriage. He was a
No.
wonderful guy.
We couldn't have a honeymoon because we had eloped and nobody knew.
Oh. What about later? Did you go on a honeymoon later when they was able to say?
No,
Was it too late?
it wouldn't have been for a long time because
Oh.
then we were both working and, didn't get time off.
Okay, how would you describe your spouse?
Fun,
Mm-hmm.
was smart,
and nice.
Very, very
Yeah.
nice.
very good to me.
Well, that means everything. How about you, Dad? How do you describe your spouse without lying?
Yeah, try
No way
that.
I can describe it without lying. One wonderful person.
Yes, she was.
Okay, and you, Jean? Same?
He was wonderful. We never had an argument in our whole life. That was the main thing.
Never had an argument.
He always said what always did what I told him.
Well, see, there's
That
the,
was
there's the
easy.
thing.
Easy way to live.
That's the truth, I'll tell you too.
Okay, what did you admire most about your spouse? And you guys be thinking, because I'm going to ask this about all of you.
Well, his integrity, his ambition, and his disposition, happy. It just made a good life.
Okay. Daddy?
Well, I guess that what I admired the most was the fact that she wanted to help somebody or something working to make it better for somebody else.
Yes, she did.
And Aunt Jeannie?
Just a wonderful guy. Loved
What
him
did you
every
like
minute.
about him?
Huh?
You have a good sense of humor? What did you like
Oh
about him?
yeah, he did. He was very good with the kids.
I was just gonna say he was very good with his family, his
Yeah,
kids.
he really was.
Okay. So how long were you married?
70 years.
Whoa. Dad?
What was it, 60? I think 60 years.
And Jeannie?
70.
Wow. I'll never be able to have a marriage like that.
You have to start young.
Yes.
So you better start.
I won't be able to live that long. And you all had happy marriages.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
If your spouse died, how and when did they die and where are they buried? So we'll start in a row.
Frank died in the hospital with severe heart trouble. He'd had
Dan died here, didn't he?
he'd had so many
Did?
bypasses,
Yeah.
and, all those kind of things, and defibrillators put in his chest that just wore out. That's all. And he's buried at Fort Rosecrans Military Hospital
Where?
in San Diego.
Fort Rosen.
Rosecrans.
Rosecrans. Rosencrantz.
ANS.
Crans. Oh, Rosencrantz.
National Cemetery.
And he was a Marine. Okay, Daddy.
Well, you know more than I do about
Okay,
that.
so we don't need to know that about you. But what about you, Aunt Jeannie?
All those figures
Yeah,
down, I
died
can't
at home
remember
over
dates.
there.
Yeah, me
But I
either.
don't. When did he die?
We have all that, so we don't
Oh,
need
do
to
you?
take all that.
Okay.
Yeah. At home in Myton, Okay, and we know, and he's buried in Myton, right?
Uh-huh. No, he isn't.
He's buried in their
My
front room.
front room.
Buried in Jeannie's front room.
When I'm cremated, they're
In
gonna
a
be
big
mixed
urn.
together.
They're gonna be mixed together and then flown to the wind, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. What wise advice would you give to your children or grandchildren on their wedding day?
Goodness sakes, on their wedding day, I was so excited at the wedding. I can't remember. Oh, gosh.
Well, Rudy and Mary Ann got married up in the
But I don't,
Cathedral of the Madeleine. That was the only one I attended.
What wise advice did you give them?
Huh.
Huh?
no,
Ah,
He didn't need any.
he didn't
He was a
need
pretty sharp guy.
They didn't need any.
No.
And you?
I don't think we gave them any advice. I
So with
mean,
me, I don't think.
they,
The others
I just
went-
said lots of
the
luck.
others just went off
You
someplace
kind of
and
had
got
to tell
married.
Betty that it was time to leave. I remember that.
Lots of luck.
Betty
I
was
think.
so in shock that she had got married that she went back and she had her bedroom in here, you know, and she had just married Rick, and she just sat on her bed and wouldn't go. Only Mom and the girls and I and had to go back and say, "Come on now, honey, it's time to go. Rick is out there waiting."
did you go?
Yeah, she finally did, but she beat back as quick as she could.
Oh,
No. No, but you know, she was a little girl, you know, it was hard for her to, you could just, she didn't say anything or make a
sure.
big scene, but she knew that it was a life-changing event just occurred.
Oh, yeah.
But see, they don't think about that ahead
Yeah.
of time.
How did you find out you were going to be a parent for the first time?
Oh, I must have been sick and throwing up.
Oh, got sick of it.
Right. I never had morning sickness. Isn't
Oh,
that
I
weird?
had it for the whole 9 months.
Not me. I guess I was made to be a mother.
No morning sickness, huh?
No morning sickness. I
Okay.
just popped them out like they were supposed to.
How many children did you have?
4.
Dad, 7, and
5.
5. Okay. Well, we know the children's names and dates of birth, so we won't
Yeah.
go into that.
Who's
Let's
that
see.
man coming into your place with a hat on?
Oh, Paul Bowden? My God, you got company today.
Sam, is that Legion meeting
Yeah,
tonight?
it is.
Oh, you forgot, Bud.
Bed.
I can't go.
Oh, they keep telling him.
Just don't answer the door.
He'll come in.
Yeah, he will.
Hey, I gave it the
You guys
office.
getting tired? We can
I
stop.
gave it the office.
Well,
You
if
give
you
her
want to
that ring.
finish it.
That was just a...
I
Finish
only
it.
want a little small donation this time.
Is that right?
Not near as big
No,
as
because
you
see, I
guys.
had Debbie's
Is that right?
cesarean.
I know hard times
So when they
around
put
here
this
now, but we just gotta
pacemaker
have it.
in, the doctor said, "Well, what's this big scar down here?" And Debbie was sitting there. I said, "That's where she
Maggie,
came
will
out."
you give a whole count? Hey, do you want one of
Oh,
those?
so you had cesarean, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to talk about this kind of stuff when there's
You
no
can't.
men around, huh?
Well, that was just Debbie. She was the only one.
After you were able to have natural childbirth? Oh, but she was the last one.
Yeah,
Oh,
all
okay.
4 were fine, but I was torn so bad they had to amputate the mouth of the uterus, so that's why she had to be.
And they're gonna have cookies.
Good gosh.
Lord, you're gonna miss out on.
They're also big, you know.
What was, okay, let's do that with you then, because you had large children, huh?
I did.
What were the weight?
Rudy was 10 pounds.
I'm gonna put Rudy,
Moving.
10 pounds.
And Kate was like 9'8".
I know, but I'm having fun.
Okay.
It's fun.
And Bobby, I think she was just regular.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks very
Enjoy,
much.
all right.
Bobby was that? And we're just regular,
Probably 8 pounds, I think, maybe.
okay. Debbie,
Yeah, kind of
Debbie,
having a
Well, Jimmy.
oh
little
Jim,
party down there tonight.
Jimmy. I can't remember. Probably 8 pounds. And Debbie was probably 8 pounds, but she was Syrian.
okay.
Where'd you go?
Down to Legion Hall.
If you want to go down there, go ahead, Daddy, I can take that
Oh, I
Jenny
can't
home.
do it, honey.
All right,
I can't
okay.
sit down there on those chairs.
All right. So do you have anything you want to say about your children? Do you remember anything that your children did when they were small that really amazed you?
I don't remember. Well, just funny little things, but this I've always laughed at. You know, when we first got television, the kids, LaBelle and Yvonne, they had Hopalong Cassidy, this, that,
Oh,
the
yeah.
other, and they're there. And I said, well, your little sister Francine, she gets to choose. She gets a choice. What would you like, Francine? She says, I want to see God. She thought everything else was in that box.
To see God, we'll see. Oh, that is so funny. What about you, Dad? Do you remember any funny story about one of your children? That was Francine, huh?
Yeah.
No, they weren't
Didn't
very
you got
funny
a
kids.
funny thing about Kathleen?
Not,
No.
not that I can tell.
Oh, darn.
Well, the twins had some pretty interesting behaviors.
Who were the
No.
twins?
Louis and Sally.
Oh, okay.
When they would play, they would team up. And poor mom and
Is that
dad,
right?
they're used to a child
Yeah.
that they can't climb this high or that high. But when you have two of them and one can get on the other one's
Yeah.
back,
Oh, yeah.
they were
Lift
able
up,
to
huh?
they were able to explore way more than other children.
They were monkeys.
Yes, they were. And so was Louis's daughters.
Oh, boy.
What amazed you about Arnie?
Verbatim.
Then can you put them together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm gonna try. I don't know. I might have to delete some of it, but
That's what that Monday did, Mark's friend. Makes those videos of me.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she came up last week and took a picture of all my bowling trophies in the back room.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh.
I'm sure I'll be getting a video pretty soon. She's been sick now, though.
oh, Monday's a nice girl.
Isn't she
I really
nice?
like Monday.
She's having trouble with that youngest boy.
If it's related, well,
And
anyway.
Monday, now, who is she?
That gal that moved here to my.
Yeah, okay, just somebody.
Okay, here we go. So we've asked Belle about if she was raised by your biological parents or adopted, but I think that through other questions we've probably already answered that. Did either of your parents die?
Yes.
If
My
so,
mother.
how old were you and how did it affect you?
Well, I was 7 days old, and I haven't recovered.
Right on. No, that's something you never get over, really.
No. You know, when you think I've never seen my mother, she's never seen me. You know, that's sad.
Yeah,
It
that's
is, it really is.
Yes.
But think how lucky she is not to have seen you.
Okay, now, there's always that, Dad. Did either of your parents die, you two? And if so, how old were you and how did it affect
I thought
you?
we went through
Let's start
that.
with Aunt Jeannie.
Oh, when Mama died, well, I was already married.
Okay.
I thought we looked that up on the,
Well, I know, but
I was
these are
married in-
oral.
I was married in '39 and she died in what did you say?
49.
49.
48, let's see,
Okay.
48,
So
47.
So how did her passing affect you? You'd known her for a good long time, or
Oh yeah, Mom was a wonderful gal.
But she'd been sick for many years too before she died.
Well, yeah, but she didn't let it bother her much.
No, she
Well,
didn't.
if you think back, it did. Remember, we
It
had
did.
Miss Ackley come up and cook for us. You wasn't there then.
No, I wasn't there.
She was. She and me had the horse race. Mrs. Ashley nearly
Oh, up on the
died.
ranch.
That's right, yeah, I remember we got home from town and they were all panicked. The horse had turned something in front of the other horse or something.
God, I keep answering for the wrong people. Okay. Were either of your parents divorced? No, right?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
You're
Hold on.
Bells.
Mom was
So-
married to Mr. Hunt.
On
Okay.
Bells.
Bells,
Oh,
there were no divorces,
No.
right? Okay.
Too bad.
Okay. Do you have a step parent? If so, what are their name? Clara?
Yes, she's Clara Marshall. But she's not living.
Okay.
That was the town marshal.
Okay, name your brothers and sisters and when they were born. So you guys be thinking as we go because the next questions will be for you.
Let's see. My brother Morgan.
And we don't worry about when they were born because I have all those. I have all that data.
Oh,
So
He was Hayden Morgan Calvert. And he just died this 2 years ago.
At 101 years?
No,
No.
that's my father.
Oh,
This,
Oh, I thought you said brother.
I did. Okay, and so you have Hayden Morgan Calvert,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a half-brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and do you have any other?
Marjorie.
Brother.
Marjorie
Marjorie?
Calvert Gunderson.
Good Mormon.
Prolific one.
Okay, so those are half-brothers and sisters.
Those two, yeah.
Okay, and that's all? Okay, now we'll go to you guys.
See, Morgan went to Westminster and he played football and he had to have his leg amputated.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. After
Okay.
the war, but I think the war had more to do with it. The
Oh, do
football.
you? Well, it was when he was in school.
Hmm?
It was when he was in school at,
After he was out of the war,
Oh,
he had
was
it
it?
amputated.
oh, I thought it was when he was in high school.
Okay,
No,
so
no.
after the war, let me see. After World War I,
Two.
World War
One,
II,
two.
Hayden, how did he hurt his leg?
Well, they didn't know, just it got cancer. You know, he used to fish with us up Wyoming. He said, the only time my leg doesn't hurt is when I'm out in the stream in that ice water.
Is that right? I'll be darned.
And then,
Okay, Hayden Calvert, leg got cancer and had to have his leg
yes,
removed.
yes,
Above the knee, below the knee?
No, below the knee.
no, above the knee.
Okay,
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was below.
I did too.
No.
okay, above the knee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so now let's go to Bud. Your parents were not your parents were not divorced. Your mother was divorced.
Just Mama was divorced from Mr. Hunt.
Right, but you had your family, your parents never got divorced.
No.
Okay. Okay, so no and no. Okay, do you have a step parent? No.
No.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, well,
Daddy married May.
that's right, you have a step parent, May.
Oh, yeah,
But you were-
I forget about her.
But you were
Oh, yeah.
big a lot
Long time.
adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just put, yes, May Whitney. I'll just put May Whitney. Okay. Name your brothers and sisters and when they were born. Dad, and then you can take
That's the
turns.
one our sisters were
Well, that
born.
doesn't matter. All these dates don't matter, just names, sorry.
What?
Names
And then
and-
there's his sisters.
And you get to name the
I
sisters and he
have the
gets to name the...
half-sister Anna Hunt.
We both have a half-sister, Anna Hunt. And a half-sister, Mabel Naylor.
Okay. Full sisters and brothers. You and then you and then you and then you.
Yeah, Jean.
Jean,
Banks.
Sally Banks, and then Ruth Jean.
Okay, I've already got all this, so we don't need to go over all that. Okay. How many cousins do you have on your father's side of the family? You know?
Cousins, there they are. Two.
On your father's.
Well, that
Okay.
was Calvert.
Okay.
Oh.
So two?
So, well, then Banksy.
Well,
No, she's gone.
Do you have,
Well, I
okay.
know.
are you talking about the present or the total?
The ones who are deceased or ones who are
It
living.
just says, how many cousins do you have on your father's side of the family? Did you have a close relation with them as a child?
Yes.
So you had Bud and
Banksy and Jeannie
And Banksy.
and Anna and I had Jackie and Tranny.
Yeah, Jackie and Tran.
Tranny Calvert.
okay. And were you pretty close with them as a child?
Yes, yes.
Very close.
Lived with them. They lived with me. I lived with everybody.
You both all lived with Grandma.
Now that's on your father's side, right?
Yes,
How many cousins do you have on your mother's side of the family?
two, but I know one is deceased and the other one I'm not sure. I didn't get a Christmas card this year, so I don't.
Okay. What are their names?
let's see, his name, let me think what the heck was his name. Neil. His name was Neil Jones.
Okay.
And Normanelle, oh, I can't think of her name.
Norma?
Normanelle.
Norma.
Like
Nell.
Ruth Jean, only she's Normanelle.
Okay, I'll find those.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Let's go to Bud and Jeannie. If any of your brothers or sisters has died, when, where, and how did they die, and where are they buried? So only
We
one
had one brother die.
Infant.
An infant born
What was his name?
H.C.
Orville Cooper.
Yeah.
It was?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that before, again, in the Morgan side, that a baby was born Elizabeth somebody, and then
No,
3
I
years
didn't.
later, and they had another child and named
That
it
was their
Elizabeth.
first. That was their first.
No, I mean, I'm saying, I've seen that before in other parts of our family,
Oh.
that back in the day when they had 16 kids, this one lady named this one kid Elizabeth twice, one that died and one that lived. Kind of interesting. Okay, so we have an infant Orville Cooper died, and Sally Banks has died.
Jensen. Cooper Jensen.
And Anna.
And Anna.
Sally and Anna. Okay, and we know where they're buried, so we don't need to go into any of that. This is like for somebody who comes in and doesn't know anything.
Okay.
Name any stepbrothers. How many? Let's see. Okay, so let's go on to fun stuff that's now not related to addresses. Okay. Belle, was there a chore you really hated doing as a child? And all of you, I'm going to ask you this, and we'll start with Belle.
What was it?
A chore
A
that
chore
you hated to do.
to do when you was a
as a kid.
child.
Dishes, always.
For you, dishes.
Yeah, always the dishes. Oh, and the cream separator.
Oh,
To
yeah,
clean
that was always a chore, wasn't it? Only I didn't do it. Mama did it.
No, Banksy was supposed to, but she got sick at her stomach.
Oh, yeah, right.
Cream separator cleaner.
Yeah.
Dishes. So tell me about that thing, this separator.
We had it on the ranch.
It separates
It separated the cream from the
out of the
milk.
milk.
And why was it such a terrible job?
Well, it wasn't terrible, but
That
it's just
job was,
oily
it was
and
quite an
milky
ordeal to
and-
take it apart and wash it.
Well,
Yeah.
It was a
A
bunch
combination
of
of a lot of
discs and a
pieces,
thing.
discs.
Why did it make Aunt Banksy sick to her stomach?
well, because
That was the
you got
way
this
to get out
special.
She didn't want to do it.
Oh.
She was delicate.
Okay, see, these are the fun ones. And how did your parents discipline you?
They never had to. We were good kids.
Yeah.
Did they ever discipline you?
Can't remember.
I can't remember either.
3 lion children.
You know, kids minded better back then than they do now.
Yeah, and they weren't sassy, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, with our occasions like that, we accepted everything we had to do. We
Yeah,
knew,
that was it.
day after
Yeah.
day, that was it, and you
But-
accepted it.
But okay, so now here's one. Do you ever remember not having enough food to eat because times were hard for your family?
No.
No.
No. Okay. What were your favorite toys as a child, and what were they like? And we'll go.
Yeah.
Who wants to start? Do you remember your favorite
Well-
toy, Bud?
I think my favorite toy that I can think of was a little dump truck.
Yeah, that,
And
And mine's in
I
that
could play
picture
on
of
the
all
top
the
of the
kids down in
cellar
Old
and-
Town. Holding my little doll, you know.
I'm the
Your
one that
little
knows.
your little black doll,
No, black doll.
A doll?
your little
I
pickaninny.
had dolls. Lots of dolls, and I loved them.
Okay, Daddy, your dump truck. Where'd you get that?
For
For
Christmas,
Christmas.
Santa Claus.
What year was the dump truck?
Yeah.
Did it have gears, or was it just a dump truck looking thing?
It was a toy dump
Okay, a
truck.
toy dump truck. Okay, and you, Belle, what was your favorite toy?
Doll.
A doll?
And I'm holding it on the picture at Old Town.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you are?
Huh?
Both of them are dolls.
Yeah, mine
Well,
was
I heard Aunt Jeannie say she was holding a doll picture as well.
in that picture of all the kids down in Old Town. Haven't
And that's
you seen
exactly
that?
what she
Uh-huh.
said.
Yeah.
So was it
No,
the
she
same
wasn't in
picture?
it.
No,
She-
I-
Oh,
she
so
wasn't
I
in
different
it.
pictures,
the
but
hotel.
you both had dolls.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what were your favorite childhood games?
Hopscotch.
Jacks.
Oh, I never played jacks.
Jacks.
Dad?
I had an awful lot of games I was like.
Hide and seek?
Yeah, we did that. That was a pretty fun game. Little, when I was
Poker was
little.
always fun.
Oh,
Poker.
Yeah, did you play cards
I
as
never
children?
did like poker.
No, not until we learned.
Or what were your
cribbage.
favorite childhood games? So that was probably about it. Hide and seek,
A little older, we played poker.
jacks, and
Cards.
hopscotch.
Hopscotch was usually, we had it
If
out
you had
there
a
to the side of the
television-
yellow house and,
Okay, you didn't have a television at that age,
oh no.
so we can move
Had
on.
radio though.
Finally.
What was your, okay, well, we'll do that. We'll ask that question. What, we'll turn these over, Kathleen, and say, radio. What was your favorite radio programs?
Amos and Andy.
Amos and Andy.
How about you, Belle?
The same. It's all we're,
Yeah,
all
we
was
used
there.
to love them. I
Frank
know.
Wananabe and Honorable Archie.
Okay, now we can move on to another one. Did I do
That's
myself?
television. And Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy.
Yeah. But this is early. Okay. What type of neighborhood did you grow up in? Describe it. You first, then you, and then you.
well, I grew,
Ages fit in there.
We used to kind of do a lot of things together, didn't
Did
we?
you?
yeah, down in Old Town at the hotel, neighborhood kids were up and down the street.
Yeah,
the Woods kids.
and the,
Can't remember their names, but
I know,
Woods. Kids.
Petersons,
yeah.
Who?
Hazel
Woods and
Peterson.
Petersons.
Yeah.
And my cousins.
Yeah, good old cousins.
Trying to, oh, you guys? Okay. Alrighty. So that'll probably answer for
Yeah.
all of you.
Yeah.
Alright. What were the other children in the neighborhood you grew up with? Were there other children? Yes, we know that. Okay. What did you like to do when you got together as children?
Probably make mud pies.
I can't even remember.
Play ball in the street.
Yeah, we did that.
And at night you
That was
played
about it.
Run Sheep Run. What was it? Run Sheep Run?
We
Annie,
did
I
And
know.
that.
a hide and the
Hide and
guy
seek.
comes up and kind of
Any
hide.
eye over,
Oh
threw the
yeah,
ball over
Andy
the
I
house.
over.
hooked it, then go turn away.
Then you go in the cistern.
She's probably never heard anything.
Oh yeah, I have.
Have you?
We played them all too. We had parents that taught us those. Okay, did your parents read to you when you were small?
Not mine that
The
I
only
can
one I
remember.
know is my grandpa read me the funny papers. Grandpa Calvert read me the funny paper. Beyond that, I don't remember anybody doing it.
I think we kind of all had that, didn't we? Didn't Mama used to read the funny papers to us?
She may have done, but I don't remember
Oh.
of it. That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Did your parents encourage you guys to have your friends over to visit?
Not
No.
mine.
No,
No.
we just weren't, they just didn't
But
visit much
you were all
back
too
then.
far apart.
Yeah.
You know, you
Except we
couldn't.
were in Old Town, and we were all a big family, about 2 blocks full of us down there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they never came around the house, we always played
No,
out in the yard.
played out in the yard.
Bill, do you remember having a favorite nursery rhyme? Or any of
No,
you?
I
No?
don't. I don't remember.
Dad? No? Okay, let's see. All right, here's good. What
I
kind of,
diddle diddle the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon.
Yeah, that was one of them.
That's Bud.
Diddling.
Okay, what type of books did you like
Jack
to
and
read
Jill
as a
went up
child?
the hill to get a pail of water.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jack come down and,
No.
let's see.
Broke
She
his
fell
crown.
down, broke his crown.
Jill
Jill
come
come
tumbling
tumbling
after.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, you're still doing good.
I mean,
You're now qualified to be babysitters for your grandchildren.
Oh, forget that.
What type of books did you like to read as a child?
Nancy Drew. I didn't own them, I borrowed them from a neighbor girl.
I don't know.
Do you
Love
remember reading any?
I
Love
think
stories?
love stories.
Did they have a library? Did you go to the library to get them, or did you buy magazines, or what did you, do you remember?
We had them all there at the house.
Oh. So your mother must have been reading them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What were the most important
I
things?
can't remember mother reading a book.
Huh.
Ever sitting
Didn't
down,
have
seeing
time.
her reading a book.
I never had time.
Did you? Could you remember her
No,
sitting
but I
down
mean, we
reading?
had the bookcase.
Oh,
with
yeah,
all
we
the
had that
books
book.
in it, you know.
The books of knowledge and all of
Oh, yeah.
and others, but I can't really remember.
You know,
seeing
women
Mama.
were so busy, worked so
They
hard.
didn't have
They never
time
had
for that.
So did they have a book of? They had a set of book of knowledges, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
Did you read all those books and do the crafts
If we
in
wanted
them?
to look up something.
Look up
we'd-
something, we'd
Yeah,
look it
we'd
up
look
in there and
them up.
find it.
Good. Okay, what were the most important things that you learned from your father, one at a time? And Jeannie, you go first this time.
Learned from my father how to drive a car.
Okay.
The old 1929 Ford.
Okay, Dad?
Be honest with people. I think that was one I can hear him always say.
Okay, and Belle? What was the most important thing you learned from your father?
Play cribbage.
Your dad taught you how to play cribbage? Okay.
Well, along with Uncle Lee and Aunt
Yeah,
Sally,
they all
we just
played.
played.
All right, so what were the most important things that you learned from your mother?
No, I didn't have a mother.
Well,
From Grandma.
from Grandma.
Well, I learned manners, table manners
Yeah,
from
you
Grandma
know.
Calvert.
Pretty proper, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Even for a savage? Even for a savage?
yes. But I have a little thing that I've always done and don't realize it, that I did learn from Grandma, but it was just a table manner thing. And people will say to me, I remember all through, well, how come you do that? Well, that's the way I learned. But what it is, Grandma Calvert said, don't ever eat up everything on your plate. Don't stop stuffing the gravy, you know.
Mhm.
You leave a little bit because you don't want to show that you were piggish. Well, she didn't use piggish, but she had a better word.
Yeah.
So that you wouldn't be seen as
Yes.
being a glutton.
Yes.
Latin, probably.
Yes.
But I could remember it. And so everybody, many times, people said, you always leave just a little bit of something, and I can,
Oh, that's why I do
I
it.
don't think we never did that, did we?
I can't
I
remember
think
that.
we had to clean our plates.
I don't think I ever did, because I never was a great eater. A
Okay.
bowl of cereal, I cleaned it out pretty good, but such as corn
Oh, I loved all
and
that
meat,
stuff.
stuff like that, I don't know.
Mm.
Unless I
Out of the garden, right
lucked
fresh
out
out
and
of the
got a
garden.
little
Oh, yeah.
bit to eat.
Okay, what
Kind
were
of
the most
depended.
important things that you learned from your mother, Dad?
How to mop a floor.
which floor?
And you think that's funny, but I mopped lots
I
of floors
never saw
on the
you mop
ranch.
a
Well, you
floor in your
wasn't there.
life.
You was gone.
He had to take over for you. and
That's
you-
right.
Yeah, right.
Washed the
Okay, what
dishes
about
and
you, Aunt
washed
Jeannie?
the separator and mopped the floors every
How to
Saturday.
mop floors and the separator, do the separator,
Mhm.
and what else?
Whatever housework needed to be done. 'Cause that time Mother was
Not
sick
well.
most of the time, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, so that's the most important life lesson you learned from your mother, was how to clean house? Or did she have any other life lessons did she ever admonish you, say, now Bud, this is how you
No, can't
don't do
remember
this,
that.
son. you ever, what was your
You
most,
know,
One thing
get
she-
busy and do the dishes.
What it seemed like she never,
I remember
I
that too
can't
from
remember
mine.
telling me to do something. She'd always ask me to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Always
never
asked.
tell you.
Yes.
Yeah,
No, she always asked.
yeah.
Good thing she didn't have Jerry. For she hated to do dishes. If she'd got asked,
I always hated to do dishes, but there they were.
hello? Hello? Hi, honey. I'm doing an oral interview right now. Can I call you back in a while? Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Then stop calling. Okay. Grandma, table manners. Okay. Okay, when did you first move away from your parents? And where did you live?
Well, I moved away when I was 16. I went to California and lived with my grandmother and aunts and uncles down there.
Who was your grandmother down there?
Grandmother Brown.
And aunts and uncles.
Hmm.
And what'd you do down there? Go to school?
Go to school.
To become a nurse.
Well, after I
Yeah.
was old enough.
Would you graduate from, what was your high
San
school?
Diego County Hospital School of College of Nursing. That's what it
San
is.
Diego
That's-
County Hospital School of Nursing.
Well, it says College of Nursing. It was a 4-year deal.
A
Okay.
pacemaker, you know.
Yeah,
It's getting little bumps all over. Wonder what's doing that.
I don't know. You're excited.
You think that's it?
I don't know.
Okay, Daddy. When did you first move away from your parents and where did you go?
When you met Ludi.
No,
No,
I went to California. And lived with Belle for a short time and went to work at Consolidated Aircraft.
Yep.
Okay.
Went
And
in the Air
Jeannie?
Force.
Huh?
Then went in the Air Force.
I went to Excelsis Beauty School.
Where's that?
In Salt Lake.
At what age?
And the month before I finished, I married Ed.
In what year? Remember?
1939.
Okay. Well, okay, so now family history. And who were your father's parents?
Hayden Calvert and Sally Morgan Calvert.
Okay. So that's going to be the same.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, and I think some of these, since we already know, but let's see, where did your father's parents live?
In Old Town.
In Old Town. At the hotel she owned and ran.
How far away from your home was this? Half a mile?
No, right next
Same
door.
place.
Oh. Okay, I was thinking more
Is that
uptown.
house still there?
What
Oh,
house?
all burned down. Everything's burned. He
Burnt
took
down.
me
Oh, it
to Old
did?
Town. There is absolutely not a stick
Oh, I
of
get
wood
that.
in Old Town.
Yeah, because
It
my
took
old
me
mama's
there.
pretty dishes burned when that
Mhm.
burned.
Did you spend much time with your father's parents?
My father's parents, yes.
Grandma raised her.
Yes.
What did you like to do when you visited them?
I didn't visit them. I lived with them.
Okay.
Lived with them.
What did you like to do there?
Well, I was just a little kid. I just played with my cousins.
And her doll.
And I,
Yeah, you got you and that doll. How about you, Dad? Did you spend much time with your father's parents?
No, they weren't around when I was there, except my grandmother, but we didn't spend a lot of time with her.
Okay. How about you, Aunt
Just
Jeannie?
occasionally visits.
Did you
Well,
spend
yeah.
some time with your father's parents?
No, just we'd go over and Well, if I missed the school bus, I'd have to go over and stay with Grandma.
Yeah.
And she'd be out in the yard doing her, weeding her garden and stuff. She was really quite a gal.
She was
After
little one.
14 kids, you know, she had that big hunchback.
Oh, you're talking about Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that she had a Samantha back, a hunchback.
Yeah, she
Oh.
did, but imagine 14 kids.
Yep. But you know what?
That
I'll bet
had to
you
be
now.
Huh?
it. That had to be it.
Well, it's probably congenital, and that's why probably Cole has one.
Who does?
Cole.
Dad's Lewis's boy has
Oh, really?
really
Oh, yeah.
severe
Yeah,
scoliosis.
Do you think it's a inherited?
I don't
Jerry
know
Ann
where he
had
got
it?
Jerry Ann
She
had
did?
it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Grandma's was really...
Any of
Well,
your
yeah,
other,
but she was an old lady.
yeah.
Yeah.
These are children.
These develop
Yeah, I know.
well, and they develop from childhood, so possibly that is a link. We don't, makes you wonder
Well,
where it
yeah,
came
because
from, and
I
now you
can't-
know.
But as long as I knew Grandma, she had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was a grandma. She was elderly already
yeah,
and part
the
of it
pictures
was
I have
a-
Cole has had it from birth, and Jerry Ann had it from birth.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, perhaps.
So-
Jerry Ann's wasn't as prominent as Cole's is, however.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yep.
Yeah, Cole goes, they take him out to,
I just suppose
Children's
it was having
Hospital.
all those kids that caused it.
He's
you
going to
know?
have to have rods put in his back eventually.
Yeah.
But
She
Jerry
was.
Ann's never got.
Oh,
But she,
yeah.
when she got older, she had this kind of a humpy thing.
Oh, is that? I
Yeah.
never noticed it, so
Yeah.
she hid it well.
Yeah.
it was more sideways on her.
Yeah.
Oh,
A
really?
little crooked spine
Yeah,
that way than
Oh,
out.
yeah.
darn.
Scoliosis, it goes like a S.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
a humpback can be caused
It's
from
different.
from a different thing too. It can be, but it's related, but it can be that way yet. And that has a lot to do with not being able to take enough calcium.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's why they have these women on Fosamax now. So hopefully their bones won't degenerate like that. Hopefully. Okay, let's see. How would you best describe your father's mother?
Oh, a dear sweet, mine is. She was a dear sweet, wonderful
Say,
grandmother. The only
loved her
mother,
grand- she loved her grandkids.
and she was the only mother I ever had. She really was. You know.
You remember when Grandma lived right back here in this apartment?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How would you best describe your father's mother, Dad? Same? Or
Yeah, she's just a grandma and nice lady as far as I knew. I mean, she was
Yeah.
always nice to me.
and how about you, Anthony? Do you have any other memories?
No, I don't.
Okay. So how about your father's father? Do you guys have more memories of one than another?
Never knew him
Didn't,
that I can remember.
didn't know him. I didn't, that's for sure.
What about you? Do you
I
remember?
can remember seeing him
Calvert?
maybe, but
Oh,
very
very, very
well.
vague.
Yeah.
much.
Do you? Okay, so see, that Belle has some memories of Hayden Calvert. So what do you remember about Hayden Calvert?
Well, I remember he held me on his lap, read me the funny papers, visited with the Indian friend.
With them standing over at the side, so she what, 20 in that picture? She looks older than
I
that.
would guess about that.
Okay.
Well, Uncle Morgan is in that picture back there.
He
In
and,
the cave.
he and
In
Uncle
the cave.
Jack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So I would like to get some different. We already know who
Did
your
you get it
bio-
going, honey?
Yes. Who was your so we know who your biological mother and her maiden name, and when and where your mother was born. We've already got that, right? Frances LaBelle. Okay, so when and where was your mother born? Dad and you guys? Bud
Well,
and
In
Jeannie?
Kentucky.
In Kentucky, Harrisburg.
Harrisburg.
I'm writing on the wrong people's stuff. Okay, Kentucky for Dad. And Kentucky for Jeannie. And the Belle,
Where was who born?
where was your mother born? We don't know, right?
I can find out,
Is
but
it
I don't remember.
Back
but
east, right?
It was back east.
Back east.
Okay, that's good enough to write this name. Okay. What was your mother's occupation? Did she have an occupation?
No, she was a young schoolgirl.
Okay, school.
You know.
Yeah,
got
she
married.
died really young. That was really sad.
But you know, when she was shot there, they went there and then they were going to send her to Philadelphia to a music school.
Oh, was that right?
And that,
Well, I'll be darned.
that's,
On the
So
way to
did you
music
get any of
school.
her musical talent?
no,
Neither did I. Or Banksy's the only one that played a little bit. She's the one that could really have done it if she'd have put her mind
I
to
was
it.
really good at the radio.
Yeah, I do that. I do the
I
TV
played
really
the radio
good.
real well.
I thought you played on the linoleum.
No, that was
I don't
late.
play the
That was
radio, I do
later.
TV.
What was your mother's occupation?
Housewives.
Did she not run, oh, so it was your grandmother that ran the,
Hotel.
Hotels.
okay. So we're going to page 2 of 50. No. I'm gonna start skipping through some of these because some of these questions we've known them for years. You know, we just
yeah.
mostly want to get some questions that maybe of general interest. Oh gee, I'm gonna have to put the Belle, Bud, and Jeannie. Okay. Okay. Let's see. How
See
would
how
you
she did
You're
that?
in the middle.
Yeah.
how would you best describe your mother?
I never have seen her.
Don't know. Never saw
She
her.
was a beautiful woman.
Yes,
I know she
The
was.
red, beautiful,
Auburn
dark
hair.
auburn hair.
Dark
Petite,
auburn.
and she was very petite. I knew that.
Mm-hmm. Very petite.
Well, that's where you get it then.
No, not.
Very petite. Okay, and you guys. Why aren't we on page 2?
She was a farmer's wife. Used to be out in the garden digging.
Yeah, but when she was young,
No,
she had to do something.
Okay, so Daddy, how
she was
this,
in White Rocks, and what did she do up there? Anything?
She was teaching my dad and
Taught
Caddy.
school.
your mother?
Yeah.
And she went out to St. Mary's of the Wasatch.
Okay,
Yeah.
went to school.
And at that time, it was down on 2nd West between 1st and 2nd South. Did you know that? Because when Ed and I stayed there, when after they built that UNR apartments, Ed and I stayed there, and they still had those big kilns in the back
Yeah.
where Mama had done her
Yeah.
dishes.
Uh-huh.
And that's something.
Something,
It's probably
yeah.
still there.
Oh, I thought she did that in the Philippines. I didn't know. I just assumed
No,
because.
she did it
She
Right.
did it in school.
as a
honey.
school.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so, all right. Well, we're talking about Sally Gore Calvert, is that
Yeah.
correct? Okay. And what I have here is that she went to school at St. Mary's at the Wasatch,
Of the one, huh?
Salt Lake.
of the Wasatch,
Uh-huh.
and she,
Wasatch Academy.
okay. Oh, wait a minute, is it St. Mary's or Wasatch Academy?
It's Wasatch
St. Mary's of
Academy.
the Wasatch is what I always heard.
Okay,
But
It's
later,
in-
maybe it
in
was the
Salt
Wasatch
Lake.
Academy. I think there's two different things.
Yeah.
sure, okay. Well, we'll just leave that. Okay, and then after that, she taught school in White Rocks?
Either that or
What-
before. We're not sure whether she taught before she
See,
went
the
out
only
there.
thing Caddy told me that Aunt Sally taught my dad and him. So maybe for 6 months, maybe for a year, because there was nobody
Yeah,
there to
I know,
teach
there was,
him.
I know, there was just,
Yes.
And then maybe went out to college for that, after that little brief school teaching.
Yeah. You know, people did what they had to.
oh, I
That's
know,
all.
Oh,
and back then, and it was really something else.
I'm getting all messed up.
They couldn't advertise for a school teacher. They just, you know,
Well, no one would come there to
Yeah,
teach
no,
two
I
don't
kids.
it's an Indian reservation of school, and they were
Yeah,
not
really.
too interested in that.
But I wouldn't have known that if Caddy didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a wonderful thing. Caddy came to visit me in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad was there. But it just happened, all our carpet was pulled up, the carpet layers were there. So I told them, there's the back bedroom back here that is not disturbed. You can visit back there until, you know. And Caddy's wife and I went shopping for dinner. And,
What's her name, do you remember?
We just think about it that way quick. I couldn't.
Anyway, afterwards, Kathy said that was the best time in that bedroom, just us two,
Yeah.
talking
yeah.
about everything since our childhood.
Yeah.
See, they went
What
to the war,
a
they was in the war together, and
Yes,
they went through a good bit of life.
Yeah, that was, they covered
Together.
quite a bit.
Who was that?
Caddy and Belle's dad,
Oh,
they were buddies.
okay. I think I'm on the right.
Only
sheet of
Uncle
music.
Morgan was his uncle.
they were the same age.
They're the same age, yeah.
Okay, how many times was your mother married? Let's see, we've already asked that, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay, what were the names of her spouses? So your mother's spouse
Was my father,
was
John
Hayden
Morgan.
John.
Jean Morgan.
Okay, and when and where were they married? Do you remember?
Myton,
Myton.
Little white
And then
church.
we can get the dates at the Presbyterian Church.
Yes.
Well, that's been there a long time, hasn't it?
Okay, so now Aunt Jeannie, how many times was your mother married?
Colonel Charles A. Hunt
Lee Cooper.
and Lee Cooper. Columbus or Lee Cooper.
Okay, and we have the dates on those. We don't need to dig those up. Okay, so that's the same for you, Dad. Okay, if your mother has died, when, where, and how did she die, and where is she buried?
Well, she died,
During childbirth.
yes.
When Belle was born, and she buried
When I
down
was
here in the
born.
Myton Cemetery.
They told me I was 7 days old when she died.
Oh, were you? Oh, I thought she died at childbirth.
Well,
Well,
Same
in
thing.
that interim,
and I was a 3-pound baby.
Oh my
The
gosh.
Dr. Enoch says it won't live, don't bother with it. Here's
Yeah,
it.
that's the way they do.
she
So
made a
her
liar out of
aunt
him, didn't she?
got her and fed her with an eyedropper, kept her alive.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I
Kate
know it.
and my,
I've had several 3-pound babies in my family lately.
Have you? Wow.
I had one, Frankie.
Uh,
But see, I was born there, my mother died, Indian reservation, no incubator, no doctor, no
oh,
nothing,
No, I know.
and no bottles of
But
nipples.
you had your grandma to take care of you.
Yeah,
That was good. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the subject about your mother's accident that she had a year and a half before, so that it's on record.
Yeah.
That she went to Provo with her family to pick peaches
Yes.
to bring back to the family, and that somehow or other, whether it was because her father had an arranged marriage or something, but anyway, this fellow came and spoke to LaBelle's mother, and an argument ensued, and she told him that she would not marry him. And he got mad and came back a few minutes later and shot her, and then almost shot Brownie.
he almost
She got away, and he ran away, and then
shot himself.
shot himself, killed himself.
Heaven's
But he
sake.
was from a well-to-do family back east.
Oh,
So anyway,
But he had his eyes on her, and he talked to my grandfather all the time, you know, I want to marry that
These
girl.
arranged marriages, boy, that
Yeah.
was really something.
so she didn't want to marry him, but she was in the hospital for, what did you tell me, close to 6
Oh.
months?
Whatever it was in the newspaper, I
Yeah.
don't know.
She was in the hospital for a really long time, and then she came back out here, and she met
She met my dad,
her dad, and married him, and then, go ahead.
but I was looking through some old papers I have, and it's their wedding book, you know, and the people that came to their wedding and who gave them what. But they were married 11 months when she died.
Oh,
That
good
wasn't a
God.
very long
Isn't that
marriage,
something?
was it?
No, and what they said was, I guess that when she was shot,
That
was
probably
okay.
had
it
something
lodged
to do
in
with
her
it, I
lung.
bet.
It lodged in her lung because the secondary cause on the death
Oh, for
certificate
heaven's
is
sakes.
shot through lung.
Yeah.
So that's what we think is
Isn't
that
that something?
is that she got
In
toxemia
those
and then died.
days, doctors would get that bullet out
Mhm.
of the lung.
Uh-huh.
But see, back then, they didn't know
I
all
know,
those
I
things.
know, there's a
Well,
whole
it's too
different
dangerous
world we
to
live
just go
in.
in and do it. I mean, they just didn't have the
What
technique.
is, you know, it just,
They
nobody
could
does.
take off a leg or something like that, but when it come to going into a body, why they were
Right.
not too proficient at it.
Okay, so now that was for the record, so that we know
Yeah.
as a family later on when people ask what happened, that's probably what happened. And there is a newspaper account about 3 days after your birth that says, I believe probably your grandma or someone was reporting to the news, and they said, LaBelle has been feeling rather poorly lately, but we expect that she'll pull through. We hope she's going to pull through now. But at the time the newspaper came out, she had been dead for 3 days. So they probably came and reported the news and then didn't get back to correct it.
The old Myton Free Press was quite a place, wasn't it?
Yeah, everything got reported, but sometimes the timing was a little off, so that by the time the paper came out, she was already dead. She was not recovering.
Mm.
But I have one picture of me in a little basket like they used to make. And I was supposed to have been 7 days old, and there I am, just this little head in that little
I
basket.
know, that was.
Oh, I'd like to see that picture.
Yeah, that'd
You know,
be nice.
Tara had Tara's baby was
Yes.
just 3 pounds.
Yeah, those are
That
hard
was
babies.
Frankie.
Really?
He was 3 pounds.
Oh my
He was an
heavens.
incubator
They're
forever.
so tiny.
Oh, and look how big he is now. He's a good, strong boy now. Okay, now on to you two. Daddy, let me let you talk for a second about if your mother has died, when and where and how did she die and where is she buried?
Well, she died from a lingering illness that we believe now to be cancer.
Is that what you think too, Aunt Jeannie?
Didn't she die up in Bingham?
No,
Yes.
she died right over here where you're living.
No.
My mother?
Uh-huh.
She
My mother
up in
died right
Bingham.
over there. It was right after Ludy and I were married, and we were living there.
I have death certificates on all these people, so
Yeah.
we can check this out.
Yeah, well, I know, I was there.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Ludy and I had been down to the dance and come home, and Dad said, your mother's dead. Just,
Oh.
and she had only died a few minutes before we got home.
And you think now she died of cancer?
Yes. I think, but I don't
I'll
know.
go, in a minute I'll go up and get those death certificates and maybe that'll help this everybody because I think that's what they ended up saying about her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the location is the only question if there is one. Okay, all right, so.
And Anna was living there, she was there with us, Matt.
Was Anna was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what was she doing here?
Just,
taking care of her mother.
just.
Oh,
taking
I
time.
see. Was she married then at that time?
He
Never
got
married.
Oh, that's, excuse me, I'm sorry, yeah. I was trying to think, how old was she? She would have been a young girl, probably.
No.
Well, let's see, is out of the military, and she'd been in there. And
I'll run up and get
I
those.
would guess she'd have
Remember
been 30 years old.
Yeah, I would say 30, because she worked at the bank a long time.
Well, yeah, after
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Anna came home to help. Should we put that? Okay, all righty. Were you raised by your biological parents or adopted, or did someone else raise you? Val?
I was raised by a multitude of relatives.
Starting with Grandma Coward.
Yes.
Mostly Grandma Cowper.
Yeah.
Is,
But she died when I was 7.
well, you're big enough to take care of yourself then, if you would.
I know it.
And then where did you go? With
To
your
New
dad,
Palco.
Victoria? Oh, God.
God. What a maiden Jeannie.
See you, Palco.
And then I kept going. My grandmother in California, they kept coming to get, they came
Oh, I
2
know,
or
they
3
tried to
times
take you a
and
couple
get me. And
times.
they tried, well, in California, they went to court. They took me to a lawyer and all that. And they said, nothing could be done until I was 16. When I was 16, I could,
Make a
Say
choice.
Your own mind.
but you know, I know
Did
my
you ever live with them?
live with who?
The Browns?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Did you?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
went then.
Oh, yeah.
That-
But a
she
lot,
was 16.
you see, after Grandma died, too, they came and got me 3 different times and took me to California. And I'd go to school there that year, and my dad would demand I be sent home. You know how many times I came on that train by myself?
Oh, my gosh.
And why did he want me home to that Upalco?
Yeah,
I
know.
thought he had a screw loose.
So you could sleep with the chickens.
Oh, I know.
Well, no, she controlled him. You know
But
that.
and then well, Grandma Calvert, I went with her to San Diego and went
Yeah.
to kindergarten. And Jackie and Freddie were with
Yeah.
us. And then I remember being in 4th grade in California. But every time I'd get there and be happy as a lark because, well, I guess they all spoiled because I was the only baby
He had
around.
beautiful red curly hair.
Yeah, right.
Oh, boy.
They all,
Grandma took you and, well, I wonder who run the hotel while she was gone. Aunt Pearl, maybe? Stepped in?
well,
Well, they say this one up here, it belonged to Aunt Pearl. It wasn't Grandma's.
we would have been in Old Town.
Yeah, but I mean, after they moved
Well,
in here.
that's where the hotel was then, yeah. But I was just trying to think of who would,
Well,
Grandma left, so who would, and Grandpa was running the store.
Grandpa was gone.
Huh?
Grandpa was gone.
He died before that, you mean?
Yeah, that's why yeah.
See, he died in 21.
But see, when we went to California, Grandma, Jackie, Tranny, me, Uncle Jack, Uncle George.
Oh, you all went down?
Yes.
Oh, I thought she just took you
No,
and the other, oh.
no, no. And
Why
I
did she
remember as
go down
kids all
there
going,
then?
well, because Uncle George had work, and he got work for Uncle Jack with him. They were carpenters in big buildings, a hospital that was there.
Uh-huh.
And I guess he
You
made
lost us.
Jack go to work with him
Uh-huh.
every day, you know. And then why we came home, well, maybe, I can't remember why we left to go home. And you can imagine going across that desert. Grandma, Jackie, Tranny, me, and whoever was driving at that time,
Oh,
camping out in the
Stage.
desert.
There'd been a stagecoach, huh?
No stagecoach, car,
in a car?
yeah, car. And I remember Jackie caught a turtle out there on the desert. Took it back to Myton, froze it to death.
I remember the story of the turtle. I didn't really know what happened to it. It just didn't come out in the spring.
Okay, so, place of death for Sally Calvert, Myton, Utah. What did it say? What home? Private home. Had been lived in this community for 45 years. And it states that she died of chronic hypertensive cardiovascular disease. So
Now,
heart-
how did they even know those
What
words?
is that?
It's
Belle?
heart disease. That's heart.
Dis-
But the thing
Yeah,
was,
probably heart failure.
it was
Because, you
more
know, she-
likely
it's-
diabetes.
Oh,
She
really?
and I went fishing in the river, and she caught a big catfish, and it bit her in the hand and arm swelled up like
Oh,
that.
for heaven's sake.
See, so to me, she died with a septicemia from that infection.
Could have been.
See, I've never heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah, really.
Because it says here,
There was nobody to make a diagnosis like that. in her
immediate cause
time.
of death
That's
was
my
heart.
mother they're talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Grandma.
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
talking about my mother.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
that's
was
all
trying
right.
to figure, you had me all
I'm
boggled up
sorry.
there. I couldn't figure out what's going on here.
Okay, so this person I'm
But
speaking
it says she died in Myton?
this says Sally Gore
Yes.
Calvert Cooper died in Myton at a private home. She lived in this community 45 years. Full name Sally Gore Calvert Cooper, and then it says here that she was 65 years old, 4 months and 18 days. Her birth
55?
65.
When she died?
65 years, 4 months and 18 days.
I didn't think she was that old.
She was, well, we have a
Let's say
death date.
she's 4 or 5 years older than Dad.
Well, that was right.
She died in 1947.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a birth date on here. I don't know if they put that on their death certificate. Birthplace, Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Maiden name Sally Morgan from Kentucky. Informant's own signature, Jean Ponton. Address, McClellan of Salt Lake. Burial, Dillman Funeral Home, Roosevelt. Body was embalmed September 23rd, 1947. Anyway, okay, so what it says here, that she died.
I think her birthday was the 3rd of May, wasn't it?
I'll have to look that up. I have that here too as well. Let's see, maybe I can have it on here. There's Sally Morgan's birthday. Let's see if we got kids on here. Sally Gore Calvert is May 3rd, 1882. 1882. And it says here that she died of heart failure due to chronic hypertensive cardiovascular disease.
Yeah.
And I know
High
when I
blood
got
pressure and
home and Dad said she had died, she'd have thrown up all over the bed
Yeah.
and choked to death.
Well, it says hemorrhaged into her internal organs, vascular collapse.
Yeah.
So that, who
So
knows
that-
what might happen at that point.
Yeah, really.
So,
I know that she
Well,
was
that's
just
quite a
laying
history
there
right
in
there.
a vomit there
Yeah.
in bed.
yeah, it's very interesting when you get the documents and you're able to kind of put it together. Now, who was the lady that got bit by the fish? Who are you talking about?
That's
Grandmother.
our grandma,
Oh, Grandma.
Grandma Calvert.
And you think, and see, she died of incidents to, as far as I recall, that she died from diabetes.
Yeah.
Well, they thought, but I don't think diabetes was very well diagnosed and taken care of.
Here's what it says right here. Sally Morgan Calvert, residence Myton, Utah. Female American, born April 27th, 1859, age 64, 2 months and 19 days, a housewife of Harrodsburg. Diabetes. Cause of death.
I
Diabetes.
know
I always
they
heard.
claimed that. But see,
That could have
Yeah, that
contributed
could,
to it
yeah,
too.
really.
That's something, you know.
Here it
Oh,
is,
yeah.
contributory typhoid fever.
Typhoid fever?
That's what it
Oh,
says.
for heaven's sake. Well, could that have brought that on?
well, I don't know about my dad. You know, when he lived at home, well, way before this, but he had typhoid
Oh,
fever
really?
twice in Myton.
Well, that's
And
probably
Grandma,
how
they
she
had
got
him.
it then.
But
Doesn't
they
that
were
what that says,
mid-years
Bill?
Here
apart.
comes a
Wasn't it
body,
really
I don't know who it is, a white lamb.
I'll get them all waylaid.
Who?
I don't know. We don't know who did.
Somebody upstairs?
Could
They're
be.
getting out on this side.
Anyway, did you see right here where it
I
says?
say typhoid fever,
Okay.
contributor.
But diabetes is the first cause.
Contributor. I know
Well,
my
they
dad,
couldn't control diabetes like they could
Yeah,
now.
I know it, yeah.
or typhoid either. Typhoid they got from the water they drank, you know, drinking ditch water.
Oh, it's Tad Thomas.
Ted
Oh,
Thomas?
Uh-huh.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
oh my,
Shall I put this on pause?
Is he older than you?
yeah, no. He's younger. I do.
Well, he's coming to visit you.
Too bad. Yeah, you know,
I can see perfectly.
I knew a lot of this bunch over here,
Yeah, you did.
and
We used to come out every summer.
till they kicked me out, and then when they
They
kicked me out.
kicked you out?
Yeah.
Oh, how crazy. I would never come back to this stupid place. They had better try to kick me out, or they'd been big deep.
Well, I got invited out.
Oh,
Ted, can I have you scoot your chair over this way so we can get you on film? Just come over this way.
No,
Come on.
Drag him
I'll
over
drag
there.
you over.
Drag him over
There, you
there.
don't even have to get up.
oh,
You're gonna sit by my aunt though, if that's all right.
that's all
And
right.
then
You
if,
betcha.
Jean, if you could come over that way.
That makes it okay.
all of us.
And that way we'll have a little
Willis is
historic
filming
visit.
us. Willis is
That's
filming
gonna
us.
be cool.
Oh, yes.
Movies, so be nice.
Oh,
There's the thing.
Don't
right
get
there.
fresh.
There's the camera.
oh, and I gotta behave, huh?
Yes, you do. So be careful what you're doing.
Behave as usual.
What?
Lewis.
So
has
you're
got
watching
that.
the jazz?
Or Danny.
Yeah, I thought
Down and watching the jazz?
Yeah, I gave it
Yes,
to
but
Danny.
oh yes. He's a fan.
See, my dad always wore a
said you
snake
were
ring.
A
So
beautiful.
I found that in the pennies in Salt Lake, the ring, the gold ring,
Yeah,
snake.
oh, this.
Uh-huh. But his was just a single snake, but I found that at Penny's in Salt Lake 50 years ago. So I had to have
Well, sure you did.
it. So I've worn it ever since.
Beautiful too. You
I
bet.
gotta call my cousin and see. She's 18 years older than I am. So she might
Does
remember.
he still wear it?
Didn't they ever talk? What's wrong with our
He,
generation?
He had it scaled
They were living.
and kind of rebuilt.
Yeah.
But they,
Oh.
Then he just,
somehow, this
doesn't wear
generation won't even have what we have.
We gave
Because they
Frankie
don't write
I
it
wore it forever.
They write.
his grandfather's.
well, he
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
really. He wore it occasionally, but
Right.
He always had on when I saw him.
I never, on the ranch, I never seen him wear it on the
Didn't he?
ranch.
Presidents wrote volumes.
He used to be on the
Where did he
dresser,
put it?
on the dresser in there. I can see it on the dresser in that.
In that red box, red velvet box?
Yes, that-
You were not supposed to go in
You
there.
know, when you saw it.
Oh, yes.
I have written a
That's
basic
where they
story,
put the
so.
extra money from me.
Really?
No, I had to have that when I saw it.
Start over again and do it more thoroughly.
Yeah.
He wore
That's
that.
what I need to do. That was my intent
That was
in the beginning,
wonderful.
was to try to get enough of
I
our
wore
stuff
that ring
together
in the
so I could
service.
write a story.
Well, I knew you had it, but
Get
I
it
didn't know
together
who you
is
gave it
a
to.
larger
Give
journey.
it Danny, but in the service, I was
I
wearing it
went from
like
kid to
this,
kid,
and I was
and then I
taking
knew
your
where I was
battery
in
out of
Kennedy
an
now. I knew where I
airplane.
was when his brother.
And I was up in the
The
nacelle, the
space
safety wire in, and I reached
I
up
think it was
at
the worst time.
the side
It's hard to
cutters
bring it up.
to cut the wire,
Yeah.
and I got down
Took
and
your finger
arced the
I have
the
strange
24
mental
volt
blanks
battery,
sometimes.
and just arced a hole on it,
Hours.
and it turned red.
My
And I
middle
reached
daughter
for it, I
wanted
can't,
to, she said, Mom,
it's foolish,
you need
it's
to
burning that one
stop
finger, you're gonna
for
grab
jail.
it, you're
that was when
gonna,
she was in the.
so I waited till it cooled off, then I got down, put it under the water, and
So
pulled
then my,
the ring
Peggy,
off,
my youngest one,
and
she
it just
said,
took the
Mom, I don't
flesh.
know anything. I don't
It-
know why.
it just seared it.
Why?
It was never bled, it was never sore.
So-
It just
That's
seared
what I
that
did.
thing,
Isn't that weird?
craziest thing you ever.
Well, we know.
I'm a whistle.
You cured it out.
But it sure had an arc on that where the battery touched it, that 24 volt battery.
She wrote it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
She wrote
Never
it
did
for
knock you down.
Mary, who.
no, there's not that, well,
And that's when she
it's
did
amperage.
it. For my for her grandbaby.
That's neat.
Stupid eyes.
Amperage is what knocks you down, volts don't hurt you.
No, is that right?
Well, things, crazy things happen.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. I need to call me
It
about
seems
it.
like
So did Grandma
when you're
ever talk
among
to
friends
you?
is when they happen.
Yeah, did you know anything about your grandfather? And I know my
I'm trying
grand,
to get these folks to do it right
I
now.
know my grandmother had
Something?
cousins. I mean, my mother had cousins in.
We had a neighbor that made
But after she was gone, I
beautiful
didn't think.
caves out of
They're just
everybody that followed
And
him.
now I just go.
Here's beautiful piece of wood, gave it to him, but he made
made stuff. Yeah.
And I have addresses. I've got 4 or 5 postcards.
And we can get your,
Well, Kathleen's got several
You'll be
walking
surprised
sticks
what
that
else
this
is
guy
still
that
trees, and
carved
they have
that
email
cane
addresses,
she
and you can get back
have
in
there.
touch with them. It'll be so
And he
fun.
was
So you're gonna send me that
renting
number?
back here from
That's
me.
all I
He
gotta do
made
is use
lots
it
of
then.
copies.
Yep.
And walking sticks and canes and
Until they catch us.
Oh, well, and then what are we gonna do, go to jail?
Kathleen's got
Well,
several.
hopefully I'll go to the same one so we can talk about our ancestors.
They'll make us go to a jail that
Nobody-
doesn't have any internet.
That would be,
We're gonna sign out.
yes, we
Did
gotta
you
sign
give me
it.
that cane or loan it to me?
Which one? I gave you.
Yeah, I got you
I
some
gave you-
certificate in the car,
The
but
little one.
Oh, that's,
I need to
Kathleen
go-
gave that to you.
Patty says,
Oh.
no, make a copy of it before you
Good.
use it. That's a good
Gotta
idea.
start remembering.
Because it's just a little too short for me.
Oh.
Deuce.
But this
Myton.
friend of ours,
D-U-C-E.
this friend of ours that rented from us, he makes those things.
This one folds up, it folds apart and folds up.
You can start your own trip from there.
Nice.
I know they do.
I got my dad's, I got clear back to my great grandparents on my dad's. But I bet I could go farther if I,
If you could get
Where'd you get that purse?
I have no idea.
Sure pretty, isn't it?
Yes.
I showed you my Elvis, didn't I?
yes.
No, you
Oh,
didn't.
didn't I show you Elvis?
No,
I got a whole box full of Elvis.
I'm not used to that.
He's not used to behaving.
Okay,
I'll try.
There you go. Continue your business.
Now we talk, now
We don't know where we left off, do
we
we?
don't know where we left off.
You see, the three of us were all born here in Myton.
Wow.
And she's
Yeah,
just
that's
talked
my
us
old
all out.
I bet she
Kathleen,
has.
yeah.
What's that, yours?
Yes, but,
Oh, yeah, it was yours. But you-
yeah,
you
it
don't
was
want
mine for
I got
breakfast.
I thought everybody,
That's Belle's, but she doesn't want it. Belle doesn't want
I
it.
know.
She doesn't know what she wants.
Well, I know what she wants.
Max Blue Ribbon, but we don't
Remember,
have it.
94.
You're on,
She's 94.
wow.
94.
My little cousin Belle.
I don't believe it.
Right, see?
Yeah, it's hard to
You're
believe.
born, I was born in Myton and I'm still alive. How many other people that was born that time? How many other people 94 years old? You're not 94
Well, I'm
years old.
pushing 92, and that's not too far away.
She's gonna make it.
You're proud of her, aren't you?
These guys are racing.
We had a lot of fun in this old town.
Oh.
Belle walks
really,
down,
I
can
don't
walk
say.
down to the cemetery and back, if we allowed her to.
But
Yeah.
Jeannie won't go with me.
What?
Down to
The
the cemetery,
cemetery.
walk down there and back.
She keeps thinking Belle wants to push her in.
That's what you want to do. I'm just passing the word along to you.
I didn't hear her say anything about walking.
Well, you're
How'd
too
you think
busy
you was gonna
blowing your
get there?
nose.
How are you gonna get there?
Kathleen's taking me in her car.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I do everything that my Aunt Jeannie asks me to do.
that's
Oh,
right.
Wonderful.
Well, that's great. You know, that's wonderful.
It is. It's wonderful to be able to get together and
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
visit, talk
Her
about old
daughter and
times.
her son-in-law brought her up, and they're out touring Utah, the monuments and things.
Oh, good.
So she leaving.
So when are they going to?
We're stuck with her for a while.
Tomorrow.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. You come over to my place.
Well, I have my own place.
Oh,
Same one, we've been here for 70 years. You know the Miller House?
yeah.
Uh-huh. My mother bought that for $1,000
Oh, my
in
gosh.
1944.
44?
I brought the kids out here because Ed was overseas. And I brought them out here and I rented it from Mrs. Miller for $16 a month furnished.
Oh,
Can you believe that? And Mama bought it a month later for $1,000 and I've been there ever since.
that's something, isn't it?
So I have a museum there.
Except for 40 years when she was in Salt Lake, she lived there.
How'd you
See, how can she say she's matriarch? She lived here that whole time.
Well, see, she lies a lot.
I-
She got a
Look who's
license.
calling the what's it back? Who's calling the kettle black? Oh boy.
They were lying. She just trips a little bit. Once. Now,
Maybe it isn't lying, stretching
No,
the
it's just
truth.
some things we just can't remember
Just-
the same.
Just stretches the
Well,
You
truth.
know, that
a little.
works.
I know how that
He
works.
knows how that works.
Heck, yeah, I know how that works. Good thing it works like that too. Now, you girls are sisters?
No,
Cousins.
Cousins.
We are, no, they're brother and sister. I'm his cousin, I'm her cousin.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
That's the way it works.
Her dad was my mother's brother. Now I'll confuse you a little more. And
He was Morgan Calvert. Do you ever remember
no,
him?
no, I
No.
don't remember
That's
them.
probably before your time.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh. But they were, your dad and
No, my mother and her dad were brother and sister.
brother and sister. Oh, that
The
makes you
Calvert
cousins.
And
family.
they're all
Yeah, we're
gone.
cousins.
Oh, you know, leave us here by ourselves.
Yeah, I
Let's
know.
go kids.
Ted spends
Well-
every day trying to find the people that are gone and
I
he wants
know.
me to take them to see them and I tell him, no, they're not here.
Not here
Not here
anymore.
anymore, huh?
See, we're just poor orphans
Not
now.
here again today.
I was trying to find your,
Yeah,
Daddy,
God, I wish they'd go away.
I was trying to find your Over the Hill book,
Gang?
because all you guys were there then.
Yeah, it's,
But I can't find it. Daddy, don't go look.
Oh, I
I'm
know
looking
where
at-
it is.
You know exactly where it is?
well, exactly the area.
Moved since the
Well, I
last
just
time you
looked for
saw
every one of
it.
those folders down there. I can't find it.
The folder's over in the,
Oh,
Now look out, Drew.
yeah, that's where I went.
Yeah,
Dad.
be careful,
Right over
kiddo.
there. I've been over there looking through every one of them.
Go showing off now and
Yeah.
get in trouble.
Fall downstairs. How you doing, Ted?
Well, I don't know for sure, but I think things are going pretty good out there where I live.
Oh, good.
I get lonesome though.
Do ya? Me too.
Me too.
Yeah, I get lonesome.
I live all alone over there.
Bryce?
Right over there in the old Fisher, old Miller house.
From
Yeah,
San
it's hot.
Diego.
Ow!
Did ya?
A lot of
Somebody
good
kidding
people.
you?
A lot of
It's
good.
hot, I
Oh.
can drink it.
I thought maybe
You wouldn't
Dad
put
was up
your
there kicking
can
you.
there. Oh, he's gonna dilute it.
Yeah. Oh,
Am I-
this is my glass,
Walk in
just
the
give me some
trailer
cold
there.
water, honey. Where are you, honey?
Here's,
walking
Where's
the
my
trail?
honey?
look at that, honey. No, you're not blocking anything.
Sure.
There's a fresh one.
Oh, okay, honey, thank you.
Yeah. Ted?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you. This is the 50th. It's a party that you guys went to, but this was back in the day when you would have known Belle and Frank, and there's Dad, of course. You know, you remember Dad,
Yes.
and Mom, and the Fort Myton.
Oh, yes, that was a new sign too.
Yes.
I remember that new sign.
And the educated worms that they had there. And the Winnebago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We borrowed that to go to Mexico.
Okay, there's where,
Yes.
this is when we went up to the lake with you guys all the time. Remember at Lake Borum?
Yes.
Okay, and then here's your party. This is you guys' over the hill party. And there's Dad and you and Ted Monks.
Calmo.
Oh, Ted,
Calmer.
Cal-
Well, it might be
no, it
Ted,
is. It
too.
was Ted
Yeah.
Monks.
Ted,
Oh,
okay.
Ted,
Oh,
okay.
it made me crazy now for a minute.
Well, Ted's checked in on us now.
And here's where you
Yeah,
pinching
he-
my Aunt Jeannie's
That's
butt.
Calmo, thank
You
you.
what?
He was pinching your butt.
Who was doing that?
Ted.
This one here.
I wouldn't do that.
Heavens, no.
There's
I don't
Toshi
remember
and
that.
Frank and Ted and
She
Dad.
did squeal pretty good.
Yeah, looks like
She
she's
don't
squealing.
remember. She's gonna say, do it again.
Wash it.
Oh, now, don't try to call us into that again.
Yeah.
Somebody might get
There you
slapped.
are telling Ted all about it.
Oh.
And do you remember him? That's old Ed Ponton. That's Aunt Jeannie's husband.
Oh, golly, yeah.
That's Ed. And there's, you remember Roy Mott?
Who is it?
Roy Mott.
Oh, Roy.
Goodness,
Yeah,
yeah.
he checked in on us.
Yes, he's one of those party poopers.
Doggone it.
I
Somebody was
know.
telling me the other day, we're looking for somebody to see, I miss Alice. You know, we
Oh,
used to
oh,
see
yeah,
Monks
yeah, she's a
and
character, that
I
Alice.
mean, we stopped to see
And
Roy, but
here's-
I never got to know Roy real well.
Yeah, I know that.
We used to
And there's
visit
you're
with
trying to
Alice quite
fix
often.
my dad's foot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he broke his foot or something.
Oh. Or something.
And Ted Bunch was wrapping it up for me.
Yeah.
He still has that shirt.
That's Ted Thomas right here, wrapping it up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I know that shirt.
Well,
There's Ted Monks. He was already on the ground.
He hasn't had his broke yet.
Oh, okay.
They're just fixing to break it.
Yeah.
And
He
there's,
was probably next.
yes, and there's Mama, my mom, Ludi, and Betty Monks, and Jenna. Aunt Jenna.
Yeah.
You know those people?
Yeah, your little mom.
Mm-hmm.
Betty Monks and.
Gentlemen.
And
And this, you guys was called the Over the Hill Gang.
Gentlemen.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
What hill? You didn't even see any hill. And there's Betty Monks, and Jenna, and Alice Mott.
Yes. Golly, yeah. Seems like yesterday, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Those are nice pictures.
They are. We're lucky to have those of all you
Yeah,
guys.
I'll say, look at old.
Ed.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name?
Good old Ed.
Oh, what's his name?
And Mom really telling Margie Liddell how it goes.
Is that Margie?
Yes.
Well, then, wasn't she cute?
Yes.
She
And there's
was a pretty
Aunt
girl.
Jeannie is expounding to Ed.
Right on. Was I pensioning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, who broke his foot?
You stepped on him or something.
Oh, that's right.
I see there's potato chips all over the floor and
yeah.
some other items.
Oh, my.
My goodness.
They were really helping each other get fixed, though.
Took care of things pretty
Yes.
good. Yeah.
And then here's the 40th, and this is, all of you guys were actually here for that. See, there's Frank
That
Fischl
wasn't the 40th,
and
that
Mel.
was the 50th.
You
Yes.
remember when he dressed like a Hawaiian and came around the corner?
Yes.
That's Belle's husband.
Yes, sir. We had.
Those were the days.
The dandy get
And
party.
there's Sally Banks,
Yeah.
and Aunt Fern, and Aunt Marva, and Aunt Jeannie, and Dad.
Sure, the whole group, how about that?
Golly.
Old fat family.
We got 1, 2, 3. We got these 2 left.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
That's all?
The rest of them are all partying without you guys.
Yeah.
Well, geez, we got.
Do you remember Jack Giles? Did he know Jack Giles?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Jack
Jack Giles, but you do know Cal. Cal Monks, and Aunt Jenna, and Roy Mott and Alice Mott.
Yeah.
That's the hell of a good
Now, you made a copy of quite a few of those.
Did you?
You did.
Oh, did you? I'm not great.
You are.
I did that.
That's the old gang.
It is.
Whole gang.
And then there's Daddy at Myton days, and there's that big old airplane he built, or whatever the heck that was, Daddy.
Space shuttle.
Space shuttle.
To put in the
What
parade.
was it?
It was a
The
space
space
shuttle.
shuttle.
They put it right
in
here.
the
Look at
parade,
here,
don't you
Ken.
remember?
But you
See?
didn't put your kids in it and let them fly
sorry.
away.
This is the Winnebago. He put it on top of the Winnebago. So it
That
was
was
yesterday,
Canada's
and there's a
Winnebago,
Conestoga,
Yeah.
and then there's today, and then tomorrow.
Okay.
That's neat.
When
And
is tomorrow coming?
Yes.
Day after tomorrow, day after yesterday. And this is the old gray Grand Marshal, Mom and Dad.
Oh, great.
And there's your old post,
Yeah.
and Cal.
That's yes.
That's
Yeah.
something. That's really, those are really neat,
Look at that.
Kathleen.
Pete Felter.
Kathleen.
Huh?
Who's this old fella?
That's a Jack Hines. I don't think you ever knew him. He's gone now too. Don't know
I
where
don't
he
think
went.
he had a whiskers like that, but I knew him if I knew him. Got a nice beard.
Has he? I didn't think they made those.
Maybe he made it
Well,
for
they,
the hot days.
They glue
Maybe
them
he
on.
grew it.
Yeah.
Hey, I just happened to have some strawberry shortcake if
that
anybody
looks like
care for
old
some.
Cal.
Actually, we had some for lunch.
Oh, did you?
Is this Cal?
Mm-hmm. That's Cal.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, he was an official in the Line Legion at that time.
Right.
Well, a lot, yeah,
Lots of
we
old
all
years.
took turns there for about 20 years. There was about 4 of us, just rotated to commander, adjutant,
That's about it.
sergeant at arms.
But I just wanted to see if I could jog a memory on who these people were for you.
You did too, I mean.
Good. Now do you remember
No
how
more
mad you were at
jogging.
them all?
Those were the days.
Yeah, those were the days, my friend.
Yeah. They were the days. They were
Yeah,
good
but
old
look
days.
how lucky we are. We had those days. Many
And
people
we can
didn't.
remember them, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Some of you can.
Oh, excuse me.
This one over here has a hard time, but he does good when you jog him a bit.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
remembers
those.
pretty good.
Love to get a little jog.
Yeah.
Well,
You mean a
know,
jug?
Know that too.
You always think you.
No jugs.
I
No
had,
jug?
I had a joke to tell about him. And forgot it.
Oh,
And it was
Darn
a good one. It was a good joke.
Well, everywhere you look, you could find a joke about Dad.
I could tell you a few, but I'm not
That's
gonna.
no joke.
Come on, Aunt Jeannie.
Not as long as the tape's running, huh?
You can't put Ginny's on tape. That finger
no,
there,
right
see it
now.
there?
Oh, those were wonderful days.
Yeah, we had a one.
we didn't think they were at the time, we just thought that was every day, but we look back and those were wonderful days. Exceptionally good days.
They were special days,
Yeah.
for sure.
fishing and
Did you ever water ski with Ed at the lake?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
he
yes.
loved to water ski.
Yeah, we tried that out, didn't we?
Yeah.
Not me, he says I was like an elephant.
Well, Ted was the first one to bring water skis to the area here.
Oh, really?
In fact, it wasn't a water ski, it was a kind of a surfboard,
Oh,
a
really?
single board he
Yeah, I've
pulled
seen
us
those
behind.
too, yeah.
We started with the surfboard, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah.
all the
It's
kids
kind of
did.
a-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we converted over to water.
And the first time he took me for a ride is up the lake, he went up there and he was up there playing on that board, he and some of the kids, and he says, come on, get on. And I just took my shoes off and waded out and got on the board and he took off and went out and circled around. We come back and he brought me a little too close. And the board hit a big rock and stopped and I just went belly moving.
You forgot to stop, huh?
Yeah, I forgot to stop.
It was all your fault.
I know
See,
it.
those are the things that are wonderful to remember.
Yeah.
I remember them jumping
See,
over
I
the
was
fire.
dry. I just waded out,
fine.
so I was perfectly dry,
That's
you
a
know,
vivid memory.
until he run me on a rock.
I would have killed those kids for that.
Yeah.
But then remember when you were jumping over the fire?
No.
Who was doing that?
When was that?
that did that?
No, you and Cal and Dad.
We wouldn't do that.
No, that.
We wouldn't jump over a fire, would we?
No, that kind of silly.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah, might hurt herself. No, we didn't do that.
Besides, you were picking.
That must have been those other people that I was something
Yeah,
with.
it's somebody,
Don't you
had to
remember-
be
don't you
somebody
remember when you went
else.
home with your pants singed?
Oh.
See?
See? Now that puts a memory to you, doesn't it?
I forgot about that one.
I remember when we had our mom and dad's 50th and Belle and Frank kept calling and saying, we're stuck out here in California and we won't be able to make it. We're just not going to be able to. And they would, about every other day they would call and say, oh God, we thought we were going to be able to make it, but we can't. So here it is.
And all the time they're sitting right here in town making these phone calls.
Yeah, so they came around the corner and he had this, Frank had this Hawaiian skirt around him and Belle was all dressed to the nines in her Hawaiian stuff. Arnie was up on the roof taking pictures of it. That was a fun day. See if I can find
But
it.
Belle, when Larry kept calling me, I kept thinking, the other parked right around the corner here somebody.
That's what I told
They
Daddy. I'm
broke
getting in
down
the car and driving around.
Provo coming out, and he kept calling me, well, we're still stuck in Provo. And I got, sure they are stuck in Provo. They're right out in the backyard here. Don't trust them.
This is how he came in dressed like
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Come around the corner and they had their Winnebago.
And I think they got us convinced that they were stuck in Provo.
Yeah.
Pull us over and Ellie was right in the backyard.
That was a good party, wasn't
That
it?
was a wonderful
I wish you
party.
I was there.
Oh, was you there? Good. Oh, all right.
It's happening here. It was. See, we've almost been married 18 years.
Oh my goodness. See, time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
Yeah. No, there they are when they first arrived. There's your grand
yeah.
entrance.
Oh my, aren't we lovely? Too bad it's dark.
I can lighten that for a while.
Too bad it's
And I
dark.
can create it so that you look as young as you actually were.
Let Ted see that. He wants to see it.
Yeah. Gee, yeah, that's great.
Pretty red hair, huh? It was quite startling to the locals. Should we put it that way?
We had locals. Who are the locals?
Well, Mom invited everybody that was all of her old friends from everywhere, you know, so some of them weren't used to Frank and Belle.
They were kind of
Yeah, isn't that
Taken
neat?
aback.
uppity.
Well, they were just like, what in the world? Arnie's up on the house taking all these pictures.
Arnie and Louie
It
both.
wasn't that bad.
See, that's where they were waving at Arnie up on the roof. What a fun day that was. Sally and her husband came out and just fixed
Put
that
that
place
on.
up,
They
didn't
they were the instigators of the Hawaiian luau out in our backyard.
I can't believe how many people got to come to that. That was a good party that
And we had the Lions Club cook the
Dinner.
lunch or dinner for us, yeah. Mostly the Gingels.
And I remember Uncle Ed coming over and
Any of them around anymore?
looking
Oh,
for
yeah. Yeah,
worms in
there's,
the backyard and almost
there's
electrocuted
two family
himself.
of them
Oh, my gosh.
down here. And
You remember Aunt Jeannie? Uncle
happened?
Ed poking those things in the ground, trying to get the worms to come up?
oh, those electric.
And electrocuting
things,
him.
yeah.
Oh, trying to get,
Electrocute them so they'll come up and
and
jump
then
in
they
their
could
little
go
bag.
fishing with them.
Yeah, right.
But he about got himself a few times too, I think.
I think so.
Well, those are wonderful days.
Yeah, they were.
Wonderful days of Myton.
Yeah.
The kids
I'm
don't
sure
seem
the
to
old
enjoy
town-
things like that anymore like we did.
Yeah, they're too busy whenever they're busy.
They
Yeah,
appreciate
there's
the old
too many
town,
other things
appreciate
going on.
the good time
Now,
now
our
and then.
kids, we always get together at Christmas time, and that's always what we talk about, is that
Yeah,
era
that's always
of how fun, the kid, even Sally and Louie and Arnie and Betty, that was the beginning of their era, but Danny and Jerry and I, we'd sit around at the table, and that's what we talk about. You know,
We
and
rented,
Val,
they
and
rented
you
the
guys
hall
being
down here for
and-
Thanksgiving last year, and we all went down there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that was really nice. What
Well, I bet
Thanksgiving
that
wasn't
was
it?
nice.
Yeah, the whole, all the kids and everybody
Where'd
were
you go?
there. It was really
They went
something.
down to their, down to the Legion Hall, they
Oh.
rented it, like we've done before
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Ted.
Well, I don't think I was there.
No,
Well,
How come? I
you were probably somewhere having Thanksgiving with your family.
Yeah, I think we're at our house. I don't know where we were.
don't know either.
I know the year before we were in our house because my refrigerator went
But
out.
I keep wanting to tell you, I still
Oh,
have
fun.
my little swans
It was
that you sent me.
Friday,
For our
the glass
50th
there Friday
wedding.
before.
the glass.
Uh-huh.
Because I had,
Yeah, they're right there.
I still have some there.
and so I went over to my neighbor and said,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
she
always
was telling
said
me
you
about
do
that
whatever-
this morning.
I said, I didn't have a refrigerator all up here for
The
meals.
swans, put them
Finally
together
got
like
somebody
this, that
else
makes a
there.
heart
They hauled it in.
when they're
No, you
face
have
to
to
face.
close together.
Oh, okay.
All my neighbors are great.
Well, those were wonderful
The other day.
days and I
We
don't
had
know
this
how
little,
it
we
ever,
tore down the fence and put up a chain
you know,
and we
I
all
just wonder what
imagine.
the
Yeah,
the
I
next
know.
generation will have
They
a
just
bit of
kind of
memories.
disappeared, didn't
Those
they?
we have.
down there.
Well, at least they won't have any memories
Then
of
the other
them.
day,
You lose one in the family and that
And
kind
I
of
said they got
just
in there, he
mix
wanted
things
out.
all over the other
Our little
way.
neighbor came when I got down to her, had trying to help us get it longer.
Wonderful old days.
2 weeks later, he wanted it out of there. It's out of there.
You ready to go, Annie?
I guess.
Okay.
You're
I
not.
guess we better get on the way.
You going
He
home?
said all the memories he wants.
I guess.
Stirred up his head enough.
I'm sure glad you came by, that's what
Yeah, this has been a fun,
One of these
Yeah,
days,
we
to
were
meet
in a
me
fun
another
get
time.
together here.
I'd like to have you help me search stuff.
Oh, I'll be glad to.
I've been trying on my own. I am, and then Joyce is trying to help me.
Are you using are you on Ancestry?
No, but that's too expensive.
Use my, you can use my login.
Access number.
Okay.
And then you can go wherever you want and find and start your own tree and everything.
What I'm looking for, what I want to find is ships. I know what years they came.
Oh, ships over to here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know, I haven't got that deluxe Ancestry one. I've had several people that are interested in going in with me, and I think it's like $100 a year extra, but I don't think it would take,
Oh, it would take a year, right?
yeah, so if we all just pitched in together for 1 year,
Oh, yeah.
and then we could all get all the information we want about England and all those places. So if
Yeah,
you're
they would do
interested,
that,
let me know.
I'm
Yeah.
interested. Tell me when you're ready. Because I know my dad came in '01,
Oh, 1901?
when he was 7.
Oh,
And I think, my mother took a trip in 1930. And I think that I have a picture with the name of the boat on it.
oh, wow.
So I found my grandpa's death certificate.
Oh, neat.
It's by this, I have a picture of my uncle and my grandma and my mother and her sister by the gravestone. And by the gravestone, he was 42. But on his death certificate, he was 37.
Took a long time to bury him.
Apparently.
Oh, yeah, you don't just go up overnight.
Apparently, that's the problem.
Well, I know.
You see what we have to put up with around here?
They're ready to send me home.
I couldn't figure it out, so I'm glad somebody told me. You see, I'm not that old, you know.
You
Well,
know, usually that,
a lot of times births were approximate back then because they didn't have birth certificates
Right.
until 1905.
But I found
Here.
out that he was in America for 4 years. It said how long let's see, how long was he in the States, and it said 4 years or something. So that means he was
He was buried before he was born?
something like that.
He was actually his own grandpa.
You see how this lesson goes all day long?
She'll have a good time sorting that out.
I think we better check that one out.
Oh, anyway, I found out my grandfather's name and his father's name and his grandmother's
Oh,
from the birth certificate, death
Is this your
certificate.
game? Is it
And he was a
game?
janitor, and I think he died of TB because of his consumption,
yeah,
and that makes sense. And then my uncle died at 13, so, you know, he could have had it too.
yeah. TV is incredible.
And I don't know how to research
cane,
that, you know.
so I could walk down.
But I didn't want to have to
Are you
get
watching?
you.
Oh,
TV?
yes,
Isn't
that's
that
so-
cool?
You have a cane and then
I missed
his cane and he loved me.
I missed that one. But
No,
the,
I
You wanna
gave,
borrow my cane?
no,
No,
she,
I
I gave
have a
her one.
little one, it just fits
the
me.
black guy,
Oh,
not
okay.
Yeah,
the football
When
player.
are we going?
Oh, that was good.
I want to see, I hope they do every,
Any
next year
other?
they do
She
reruns this fall.
Which
So.
one?
With your cane, you're
Yeah.
gonna walk with me?
Well, of course.
Will you walk with me and
Well,
talk
not all the
with me?
way down to the cemetery, I won't.
Where will
She's
you walk?
gonna take us down and then we'll walk through the cemetery.
Well, that's a chore. Well, my kids,
I thought that's what you wanted.
I want you to walk with me and talk with me.
Well, I will.
We can see old Lane.
There are paved roads at the cemetery.
No, she can't have my cane. Oh,
She
you can
can't?
borrow his.
No, I got one here, but
Oh, that's kind of a weird one,
Oh,
isn't
I bet
it?
you're having fun.
it's a beautiful
really
piece of
neat.
wood,
It's
that's
a little
thing.
weird, I
Yeah,
don't know if you can handle that one.
We
That's
went
weighs
back
10
to the state
pounds.
archives and I was.
Is it a horn or something?
Brands, you know, like
It's
cattle
hard
brands,
to
wear.
all the brands from
Up
the
your head.
1800s.
Hardwood of some sort.
Already
My
got that.
grandfather.
Yeah.
was
Isn't
And he got
that
that
something?
one.
Oh, no,
I don't even think
Oh, I
I let him
thought
do
you
that.
did. He only-
He's got one
That's
out in the
interesting.
south garage.
It's quite heavy. isn't it?
Mount, I
You probably
forgot
forgot
out
this one, you're
there,
in heck.
that he got.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never did that,
Oh,
you know.
I
In the
don't.
velvet.
I will.
See,
do I
that
have
season
your
comes
email?
early before the
No.
velvet,
Yes, yes.
but I've got that one out there. that
The
he
wind's
got.
come up though now, darn it.
You have, it's kind of
Must
chilly.
have hair up if we watch.
Well, it
We
help you walk
walked in there.
fast.
There's no way my hair could do that.
It would blow you down there
Me
real
either.
easy.
Oh,
Getting back would be a problem. Couldn't walk into the wind.
No, that darn wind, that's kind of miserable.
This is all little.
that's what I remember about Utah. I remember, well, see, I go to the skin doctor, I've had skin cancers taken
Is
everywhere.
that how you say Strata, S-T-R-A-T-A?
And they said, where did you grow up?
I changed
And
over from you,
told
Bill.
them,
Well, I went over to see you guys the other day, but you wasn't
And I didn't
home.
know there was 2 T's in there.
You know, they
And
used
so then I had
to
to,
always
now I'm gonna have to change it all again.
buy me a hat, make me wear it. But the wind blew it down to Fort Duchesne.
Now, I finally went on Family Search.
They said, go get your hat.
So it was a Utah sun that made all these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ancestry's the
right.
best way to go.
No, it was my,
Was it
I
really?
didn't, yes, I did not have a nose for years. It was always sunburn,
Well, you
peeling
guys
off, and sunburn, peeling off.
stir up another one.
Okay,
Stir up another one and we'll be here.
I was over to see you guys the other day, but you were gone someplace.
Oh, for heck's
Yeah.
sake.
Probably the same day we came here.
There was no cars around, so I figured, well,
Yeah, they were over
You
here
were out
looking for
having
you
fun.
and you were
We
there.
stopped here too a week or so ago.
okay, what?
We stopped over here too.
Oh,
did you?
We weren't
You
home.
look so good. You look so
Yeah,
good.
do.
And you have that wonderful light lady to take care of you and I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, she'll keep me in shape till the next one.
And Joanne's nice too.
Oh, yes.
No, there's not gonna be a next one.
Yeah, we'll put up with her.
Just kidding.
Will be the next one.
We'll put up with her.
Won't be another one.
Because you see, when I was single, all my friends were married. Now I'm married and all my friends are single.
Or gone.
So if I'm ever single again, I'm gonna stick with them.
Well, yeah, you better stick with this bunch. We'll be back.
I think you got the message.
Yeah.
I got everything I wanted out of him, so that's all I need.
Isn't she sweet?
And that's on tape, so I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
She joined the club before she even knew it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh darn. Well, isn't she happy
I
she
was a
did?
silent what do you call it? Silent.
Silent partner?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she didn't know she was showing in this house. She had to be
Yeah.
quiet.
But you know, when we came to
Did you
your
remember
50th
when my
wedding,
kids,
we had
back
to
in
hide out.
preview, played for your mom?
Yes.
That was my daughter and
We didn't want you to know we were here.
Oh.
my oldest daughter.
And we stayed
Well, they played at the.
at
Mine.
your
Mhm.
kids'
Well, I think, yeah, and I think they did a few
house
concerts in
Roosevelt.
the,
Roosevelt?
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
in the
Well, we were,
Legion Hall.
and we went out to get a room at the motel, and they said, well, they weren't made up for the day yet if we'd come back later, so we went to the grill to have breakfast, and his kids were sitting there, two boys.
Danny and
Lewis.
And they said, you're not going back to that motel, you're coming to our house.
Okay.
We did.
All right.
Hell yeah, you're not going to no motel with them. Yeah, that was good.
So did you find out where the snake ring was?